All right, hello. I wanted to rank the Street Fighter games now, bouncing off of the character tier list. I have a new guest with me today,
Hey, how's it going?
a Mr. Hans Jerkoff. So
That's me.
I'll get this started with Street Fighter One. This game is fucking garbage.
Aw, what?
No, dude, this game fucking sucks, bro. Don't forget, there are many guys like you all over the world. There's one voice.
Over the
There's
world.
one voice line in this game. The characters don't even have their proper names yet.
Yeah.
Retsu coming back in World Tour is pretty dope.
That is actually pretty cool. I will say this about Street Fighter 1. It did introduce a couple of really cool characters, right? Like, I think Gen's in this game, right?
Yes, Gen is in this game.
Gen is in this game. Sagat.
So is Yun's dad.
Birdie. That's right.
White Birdie. White Birdie.
White Birdie. He was
Yeah.
sick. He was sick.
Yeah.
He was under the weather. And you also have to keep in mind for a second, right? Like, Street Fighter 1 around this time, there wasn't a lot of, like, fighting games were, like, what the fuck is a fighting game? The only one I
Yeah.
can think of that was
Karate
even
Man.
notable, Karate Man or Yair Kung Fu. That was, like, I think one of the only ones where you could actually, like, fight another player. But Street Fighter was really kind of breaking new ground, but it fucked up. Doing special moves in this game
It's
is,
like
like,
impossible. Yeah.
you can't fucking do it. Like,
You can do it on a hitbox.
Yeah,
If you know the code.
dude, well, there you go. Hitboxes, that's why they should be banned, dude.
All right, Street Fighter 2. So for Street Fighter 2, we're going to skip most of these editions because a lot of these editions suck. We're only going to talk about the editions on Fightcade. So that's like Super
Yeah.
Turbo and Hyper Fighting.
I think Champion Edition might be on there.
Yeah, but it has exactly 10 players at like any given moment. Everybody plays Hyper
Man.
Fighting or Super Turbo.
Those guys are probably killers, dude.
So we're going to start with Hyper Fighting. Hyper Fighting is just slower Super Turbo. I
Yeah.
feel because it's Street Fighter 2, it doesn't have the craziness of Street Fighter. Honestly, I think both the Street Fighter 2s are pretty B tier because these games are brutal. They're vicious.
Yeah.
You'll get touched once into fucking every single character.
Re-dizzied.
Every
You'll
single
get
character
re-dizzied.
can TOD you in this game, or touch of death. Every single character can TOD you. So
And Vega as well. Like, think
oh,
Vega.
dude, I don't even want to think about Vega. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Fucking
Dude, that's Tokido would play him, and just it was fucking.
yeah. Don't ever
He did not care.
Don't ever let it get in your head that these Japanese players are fucking honorable. They
No way.
watch them play Street Fighter 2 and then tell me about honor.
They want to fucking win, dude.
yeah.
They want to win.
So Street Fighter 2 is obviously the legend, the late great one, but like
See, yeah,
it didn't age very well. I don't feel like it's really hard to justify. Hopping on Fightcade, playing this game, your opponent picks Balrog, walks up, crouching medium kick, throw you. Now you're in the fucking blender, and if you guess wrong 3 times, you dead. Like,
yeah. So that's a wrap.
yeah,
Yeah, and like early versions of Street Fighter 2 were fucked beyond belief. Like World Warrior, Guile's handcuff glitch, and no mirror matches, and you couldn't choose any of the 4, kings. Like, which is, for those who don't know, it's Vega, Balrog, Sagat, and
actually,
Bison.
it's Dictator, Boxer, Claw in
Right,
this era.
Dictator, Boxer, Claw, and
Back
Sagat,
in
Kick Guy.
in the arcades, back when these games were like fresh, everyone would call them Boxer, Dictator, and Claw because of the weirdness with their 3 names and the localizations. So
Yeah.
everyone just stuck to that, and nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, Street Fighter 2 is, I think putting it in B is fair because, I mean, based on legacy, like, you got to give it at least
it's,
that.
It's not bad. Like you can still go on Fightcade and play it, and it's enjoyable. But I mean, like, why would you play Street Fighter 2 over Street Fighter 6 unless you want to experience the old game or just play it because you've got memories with it?
Yeah.
There's just
Sometimes you got to learn your history, Like,
yeah, and it's
and-
got
and it- and
value.
it-
Super Turbo, however, is better than Hyper Fighting. I will not hear otherwise. I will fuck you up on
Yeah, I
Fightcade in
think
this
so.
game. I love Super Turbo. Super Turbo's got a place in my heart for the simple fact that it's like Hyper Fighting, but even faster. And
Yeah, it should be called Super Street Fighter 2 on crack.
yeah, this
That's what it
game,
should be called.
The damage is crazy. All of the stages are set like 2 speeds faster. So here's another fun fact. If you want an
And
example of
dude,
how broken Street Fighter 2 is, by the way,
all the stages run at a different
yeah,
speed.
yeah, I was just about to say that. All the stages run at a different speed. You have characters like Zangief, where on like DJ's beach map, he's just whatever. Then you put him on like Cammy stage, where it's like 2 notches faster. And bro, Green Hand into SPD, you have like fucking 5 frames to like DP out of that,
dude.
you know? And it's like, okay.
Yeah, this game, the meta was basically it was old Sagat. He's insane. I mean, like the
Bison
whole
was
reason,
insane.
Dude, Bison is very good in this game. It is kind of weird though, because like in Champion Edition, he was like so dumb. He was so dumb in that
Dude,
game.
he's
But yeah,
literally on the box. He's bigger than Ryu. Of course he's dumb.
yeah, he's gotta be. He's
Yeah.
gotta be good. You know, like man, that fucking art is so sick. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, you got old Sagat. Vega, of course, is just grimy. That is a grimy fucking character, dude. Holy shit. And Ryu's solid, you know. Old. Some people like playing old Ken, but really that's pretty much the meta.
I
And
really enjoyed Ryu in this game because of the fireball mix-up. How heavy, medium, and light fireball are genuine, real mix-ups. And
Yeah.
this is when fireballs were like at their peak.
yeah, you would do a meaty fireball on a knockdown, and this is also where you could cancel sweep into fireball. They retain that in some
yes.
later like crossovers and stuff, but for the most part, like they did away with it later on. Um, yeah, like yeah, Ryu had some sauce, dude. He had some fucking
Ryu was
sauce
dangerous in this game. Yeah.
In hyper fighting, he could actually stun you in 2 fireballs. Fun fact. It's fucking insane.
Okay, we'll come back to the side games, but we'll just focus on the mainline entries at first because that's the more interesting one.
Oh man, we got to talk about New Generation.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll tell you right now, I've got some controversial opinions on Street Fighter 3. Speaking of Street Fighter 3, where is Third Strike at? I don't see Third Strike on the list.
Third Strike is it's next to Alpha 3 to the right.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's the circular icon. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, it
All
kind of
right.
it kind of like blends in a
So,
little bit.
New Generation. This one is a little hard for me to place because at my local arcade, we did not get New Generation. We got Second
Nope.
Impact and Third Strike. So,
I didn't even have Second Impact in mine.
Really?
I played at FFA. Yeah, we just had a shit ton of Third Strike machines.
oh, dude, when Third Strike came out, I don't like. I was super young when Third Strike was like the thing, but holy fuck, dude, people bitched. People bitch so much about Third Strike. But
Yeah.
Anyway, so New Generation, new system, new game. I don't have too much experience with it. Of what I remember, it was kind of it's not as legendary. So here's the thing, right? It's not as legendary as Super Turbo.
Not as groundbreaking as Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, and so it's in a weird place. It's not as good as the later editions of Street Fighter 3. And it wasn't enough when it came out.
I respect it.
Yeah, like it
for
laid the
taking that
groundwork.
risk. Capcom, like, see, the thing is, right, is that nowadays, Capcom wouldn't be caught dead taking a risk like this, right? Like, they had already established Street Fighter as a household name by the time that it came out, which I think, New Generation was like 97. It was when CPS3 came out. And dude, like, the only other CPS3 games is like Red Earth and JoJo's.
Yeah.
But it was very impressive looking, but nobody gave a fuck because it was just Ryu and Ken were in it, and it was broken, and Ibuki had infinites and shit. It was a fucked up game. But
Speaking of that, Second Impact can go fuck
Oh.
itself. I hate Sean. I hate Sean being the best character in the game. I hate
Akuma too.
his fucking oh yeah.
Akuma's dive kick.
Yeah,
Fuck that, dude.
yeah.
That's insane.
I did not like Second Impact whatsoever. It's got the best Gill stage with the fucking lava in the background and the Covenant,
Yeah.
my Covenant cloaks standing
My
there.
Covenant, dude.
Yeah.
I'm in a gold cloak, by the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
I'm in a gold cloak, by the
It's got the best Gill stage, but dude, fuck playing this game. Sean looping you forever with his it's like quarter circle forward kick where he like dashes. It's almost like an Ibuki
Oh, yeah.
dash. Akuma dive kick, fucking throw setups. This game was not fun to play.
When the by design shitty Shoto is more powerful than Ken, who has historically been a very strong character in most Street Fighter games, you got a fucking problem.
Yeah, to put this into perspective, Sean is supposed to be like the Dan. He's like the Mr. Karate, the joke character of Third Strike. Yet he was arguably top 1, top 2 in this game.
I would say top 2 at least. He's
Yeah.
either the
Yeah,
best.
he's either the best or second best. Like it's just been if Third Strike is the Chun and Yun special, this is the Akuma Sean special. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, holy fuck. At least Chun and Yun is interesting to watch. You know, like there's an actual game there. But
True,
the,
yeah.
the problem, what makes this so much worse than Chun and Yun is that because Sean and Akuma both have ways to fake their pressure. They both have tools that allow them to fake reset pressure. They almost play like Street Fighter 6 characters, where they have a special move that basically just skips neutral and just kind of, you know, it's like if it's like if every one of your specials worked like a fucking Urian tackle in Street Fighter 5, but instead of being -2, it was 0.
I remember EX Headbutt Street Fighter 5 when that shit was safe.
Oh, that was fucked up.
That was fucked up shit, dude.
Third Strike. Okay. All right.
We're going to have differing opinions on this, it seems.
I think we are. So most people would put this game up here. And
Sure,
I think at a fundamental mechanical level, I think that's true. I like normals building meter. Charge petitioning was a little fucked up, but I think this game, it can't be S tier for me for the simple fact that this is the game all of the loser poser bitches like to glaze up and go like, this is real Street Fighter. This is the Neutral King game. If you think this game is the Neutral King game,
Neutral King, I can't even agree with that.
Dude, people, I could go on the Street Fighter subreddit right goddamn now, and people would be like, yeah, Third Strike, that was the like, think about it. People like fucking LTG, they glaze the fuck up out of this game. They
get owned in this shit.
Yeah. They talk about how good it is,
free, dude.
Yeah, because like this game is not as good as a lot of people remember, and I can prove that by the simple fact that there's two ways I can prove that. One, none of you there's more people that enter this game at Evo this year than there are motherfuckers who play it on Fightcade. So I know most of you motherfuckers are just like, oh, it's Street Fighter, it's Third Strike, that's a classic. Yeah, I'll enter. I'm already entering Street Fighter 6.
Oh man, they're in for a rude awakening.
But when Wednesday Night Fights used to run this game during the Street Fighter 5 era, there's a guy called Baphael. He makes a lot of really good videos.
Yeah, great creator. If you want to learn about him and his the ins and outs, dude.
Him and his Oro would win Wednesday Night Fights for like 3 months straight. Before Alex Valle was like, okay, this is like the same 5 people. There was a point when they only would get like 10 people entering. And that was like the biggest locals there is. And you're telling me like Third Strike is a lot like Mortal Kombat 1 in the sense that everybody loves to talk about it, but nobody wants to actually sit down and play it. And for me, it's the balance. This game is so horrifically balanced. I wish this game got the balance patch mod and the community didn't strike it down, because watching Chun v Yun gets old fast.
Ken's in there too.
Ken sometimes gets thrown in there. You have so many cool characters in this game, like Oro and Necro, who just legitimately never see play. Once you get
half
to
of
like
them, half
A rank,
of them. Yeah, half of them you'll never see. I mean, there's some people that are
some
like
enthusiasts out there, but like that's my whole point.
That's few and far between.
Yeah,
that's few and far between.
The other thing about Third Strike is I know most people who say that this game is so great, if you actually had to play this game, you would hate it, because you play against a B rank player on Fightcade. They will wash you so fucking hard. If you're like a D rank like noob, you will get washed so goddamn hard that you're not gonna have any fun. Dude, you could take a B rank player and give him Q, and you could play Yun, and you will probably get double perfected on your first round. Like, this game is such a skill gap that some people really dig that, and sure, that's fair, but at the same time, it is such there's a reason why it's really hard to get people into these older games.
Third Strike is
brutal.
Very inaccessible for newcomers. Like I love Third Strike partly because, I mean, I played it when I was like a kid, right? Like obviously I didn't play it in 1999, right? Because I was fucking like 3 years old. But you know, when it came out in the anniversary collection in, I think that was like 2005, that was kind of like the heyday
when they gave it
for
online.
Third Strike. They did give it online, didn't they? On the Xbox, on the original Xbox, which was awful.
Yes, they did. And you know what? That was my first time playing a fighting game online. That's probably why I still am like, man, this shit's a fucking joke to this day. Because that port fucking sucked. Thank God for the Xbox 360 port. It was at least playable.
arcade edition,
Yeah,
or sorry,
yeah,
online edition.
yeah,
I played that a lot actually.
yeah. I did too. It was quite. It was
I mean,
is a decent experience, but yeah. I just it's so hard for me to think of Third Strike as an S tier game because like you just see Chun and Yun way too much.
yeah,
It's
I'll say that casually, right? Or just like, let's say this, right? I'll tell you my experience, and it might give a different perspective on this
okay.
game.
All right.
So competitively, right? If you're trying to win in Third Strike, it is a fucking losing game, right? Like you are not going to win. It's just not going to happen, right? Unless you can somehow erase the 15 to 20 years of
Yeah.
experience that some of these Third Strike players have, you are not going to see any success. That being said, right, my experience was not in tournaments. I competed a couple times, right? Like, I mean, we had the FFA reunion a couple years ago. I did enter that tournament, but I usually don't enter tournaments, right? I'm a fucking, I'm an anxious person when it comes down to it, but I love playing these games casually and like in arcades and just sitting down and doing like casuals and shit. I'll always participate in that, right? Um, so at Family Fun Arcade, where I played, right, as like a 16-year-old. This was back in like 2011, 2012. Uh, Third Strike was the game that FFA played. Street Fighter 4 was already out, but people were playing Third Strike, right? Because there were some people like me, right, who were like, "Oh, Street Fighter 4, yeah, that game just has comeback mechanics, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking hate how slow that game is, you know. Oh, you can't car grab in fucking Street Fighter 4 except unless you're Ken, of course,
Yeah. I
but
was just about to say.
yeah, like it was more of a common thing in Third Strike, and you know, playing the game casually with just like random people and having that social element really put that game into a different light for me, right? There's a lot of people who, like, on one hand, right, you're absolutely right. People glaze the fuck out of Third Strike. They have no idea what they're talking about. They do not know what they're talking about or what
The
it looks like on
Dude,
Fightcade.
the one that bothers me like more than anything else is when people say this is a game all about neutral and footsies,
It's
and this is the
not.
footsie, like this is the game where footsie shines. It's like, did you forget about Street Fighter 4? This is a game.
Yeah, that
This
game is
this
way more footsie
it's like,
based than
dude,
this.
Third Strike is a game where you build meter for whiffing buttons. Half the fucking round is spent like on the other side of the screen whiffing buttons. And when you get real
Yeah.
good, half the game is just whiffing buttons in the opponent's face, hoping they aren't good enough to whiff punish you because jabs are like 3 frames.
Yeah. Third Strike is like at the highest level, it's like horseshit. It's horseshit at the highest level, right? Like, because Third Strike is actually like it's a very fast-paced
Oh
game,
yeah,
right?
it's super fast paced. You can
It
die within like the first 10 seconds against certain
yeah,
characters.
like against certain characters like Makoto, right? The
Oh
top
yeah,
five, right? Like a lot of people talk about the top three in Third Strike, which is, it's Chun-Li, Yun, Ken. I will not hear it any other way. It
yeah.
is Chun-Li and then Yun and then Ken, right?
Oh man, it's funny he mentions this because with Street Fighter 3 coming back to Evo, there's reignited this debate, the age-old debate. Yun is better than Chun, purely because of Gurdanshkin.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ganajin, yeah,
Cause
it's
people there are people that'll fucking fight you for saying that. They
yeah.
are die hard. Gurdenchkin is the best super ever, and who cares if Chun-Li can clip you for 40% at like every round?
Yeah,
And
who cares
yeah,
about that?
yeah,
Whatever, dude.
yeah. Oh, she just has the easiest confirm into 40% of all time into fucking free Oki anywhere on the
and
screen,
and
and it's like,
and the best normals and the best meter gain and the best car grab in the fucking game
yeah. But this debate
and
has
two stocks like
two stocks, two stocks. Give
two
her just one
stocks
stock. It should be a one stock super.
that would change everything.
That would so significantly because it's so oppressive. The moment Chun gets super, everything changes. Dude, Chun
Yeah,
without her super stocked is still like a top 5 character, but she's not number 1 at all, not even close, because the threat to convert her good buttons into damage isn't there. But the moment you hear that ching, you're like,
you gotta run.
now I gotta
You gotta
fucking, now I
run,
gotta
dude.
play like a pussy. Can't do anything. Half my options just disappeared. It's like when in a
Yeah,
modern game, it's like in Street Fighter 6 when someone gets a level 3 and you can't fireball them anymore. It's like that if it applied to half your buttons.
yeah, yeah. It's truly like people who say that Yun is better. Just remember that if you get hit by one super with Chun Li and she's got two stocks, you could
Yeah.
just be dead right there. One touch. Yun actually has to work for it just a little bit if he gets the juggle off, right? But I mean, I'm on like I will say, right, the margin between the two of them is very tight. It is very tight, I will
That,
say.
dude, people have been debating this for like almost 20 fucking years now. So,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
it's it's
no,
pretty crazy.
longer
And
than
then
20 years actually. And it's
yeah,
just it's
that's right.
we're not going to make any ground on this one because there are people that are I don't even want to get into this. These
I'll
fucking
just
third strike players.
I'll just finish my spiel on Third Strike, right? Like, so my experience of it was not quite as cancer, right? I would play against all sorts of different people. There are some people who only picked Hugo, and I got to play against like Hugo players,
Those
and
people are fun.
yeah, and like people who only played Necro, and some motherfucker who chose the chocolate skin for 12. 12 is like, dude, 12
12
is
sucks. 12 is
he's
so bad.
so bad, but
12
like
might just be one of the worst characters they've ever designed.
of all time. Of
Yeah.
all time. Dude, Sean is better than him. It's like fucking insane.
Yeah, yeah.
12, like, not to,
You know a character sucks when the best part about him is morphing into the other character.
dude, when I was in the arcade, I was playing against somebody, and they were like, I play 12, and I'm like, oh, okay, you want to like
Yeah.
do like a first to five? And he's like, what character do you play? And I'm like, Akuma. And he goes, I can X copy that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So that means that I have a chance of winning
yeah,
because I'm turning into a good character. Yeah, yeah, so my experience of it was a very social, kind of laid back, like experience. And in that like setting, Third Strike is a masterpiece. It is a
yeah. It is.
fucking
It is a great game
masterpiece.
if you're just playing it with like casually with other people.
And with people who are good, right? Like people who actually know how to play the game, and you're
They're
just
not
doing
just button
casuals.
mashing. Yeah,
Yeah, and like they're not like sweating like crazy. I mean, again, fighting games, you got to be sweating a little bit to play these games, but at the same time, Third Strike is it's still an amazing game. It's like a top five Street Fighter game for sure.
yeah. I don't see it not it being outside of that. All
Yeah,
right,
it's
Street
a very good game.
Fighter 4 Vanilla. No, I'm
Oh,
just fucking kidding. This is not going in S tier. Bro, this fucking game had so many problems on launch. This game had so many fucking problems on launch. Need I remind you that before the arcade patch, the before, you know, this right here, Shoryuken FADC was +3.
yeah, free throw.
Does anyone need to be reminded that you could wake up Shoryuken FADC and that is a legitimate throw overhead low mix up?
Yeah, and even after that, I guess like you could FADC backwards and you could still be safe.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
but back then it was like even more fucked up. Like you could just like do it for free. Whatever.
Now, need I remind anyone else of Sagat hitting an anti-air and getting
Ultra One.
700 damage off of it?
Yeah.
Like this game had problems day one.
Hey, dude, how about El Fuerte Infinite? Run, cancel, El
Able
Fuerte.
Infinite, fucking
Able Infinite. That's right. I said it. I said the fucking
yeah.
step kick Infinite, dude.
This game had a lot of problems early on. There is a reason why there's more editions of Street Fighter 4 than any other Street Fighter, for the simple fact that this game had problems that needed solving desperately.
Dude, have you seen the clip from like it's like the beta, like when it was still in arcades, where Akuma uh focus attacks Dulcim at like a pixel and just kills him outright?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I know the clip you're talking about.
that's one of those homogeneous history
Yes.
of gay inventors
Yes.
videos.
Dude,
Shout out to
the homogeneous
homogeneous.
playlist, holy fuck.
That's one of my favorite fucking things.
My
ever.
favorite homogeneous video is the King of Fighters one where he's playing like KOF 13 and he's doing the backflips and he gets stuck in the air. Like, dude, that was so easy to set up and motherfuckers would do that constantly. Or the Mr. Karate Man crouching on the floor, like going forward into the flip kick.
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, I would get pissed off. Like, I would legitimately, I've experienced this.
Oh, you're talking about it's the Taekwondo guy in KO 2000 where he's like,
yes,
muda des, muda
yes,
des, muda des.
yes.
Yeah, dude. I love KOF 2000. That's actually a top 5 KOF in my opinion, but like also fuck, dude.
Some of the
It's a fucked
stuff
up
you
game.
could do in those little KOF games are really fucked up.
I played Blue Mary in KOF 2000, and I could just like you 100% people with Blue Mary in that game. It's fucked up.
All right, now Super Street Fighter 4 is
Big
is
improvement.
significantly better than vanilla Street Fighter 4. We're not quite there yet, just because
I
knowing
think it should
no,
go into I think Super should go into good as like a
really,
legacy thing. Yeah, because I think the game got better. Like I think Ultra is
the
pretty
peak.
solid. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's the peak. So like I think Super going into B, I mean, dude, adding fucking Dudley, that's my fucking third
yeah,
strike main,
Dudley is
dude.
dope.
I jizzed when I saw that when they announced that shit. I loved it, dude.
Yeah,
He's fucking hard to play in
I don't have too
fucking
much to say
Street
about
Fighter 4.
Super other than it's literally just Street Fighter 4 with some extra characters and much better balance.
Yeah, yeah.
The one where I do have a lot to say, however, is
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll
yeah,
get to that. I mean, with the only thing I'm gonna say with Super is, everybody got an Ultra 2,
which was big.
um, which was big, and for some it didn't matter too much. For some it was huge.
Ryu Ultra
Yeah,
2, dude.
Ryu Shinshiryu, yeah.
Dude, that thing fucking sucks.
Dude, Guy's fucking Ultra 2 was so bad because it's like you could just if if you weren't doing anything before the super freeze, you could just jump it.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of command grab ultras in Street Fighter 4 that are just unusable because you can just literally like if you were not doing anything before the super freeze, you can just jump. Like there's a lot of shit like that, but added Dudley, added Adon, Gamer B, shout out Gamer
Oh
B.
yeah, when he won the Evo with Adon.
Yeah, dude, he was
That was a sweet Evo run.
yeah, dude, Adon is a fucking sick character. He had that
Jaguar,
dope
Jaguar,
ass.
Jaguar, Jaguar,
Yeah,
Jaguar, Jaguar kick, Jaguar kick, Jaguar kick, Jaguar
he's a
revolver.
fucking goblin. That man is a goblin, and I
Yeah.
love him. I love him, dude. He's a kookly ass goblin, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah. So
Well,
arcade edition. Let's get it out of the
so
way.
I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. Big, big,
Yeah,
big fan. Yeah, yeah, I am.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Added
Version
Oni.
2012.
We added Oni. We added Yang. We added um
Evil Ryu.
I was trying to avoid those two. We added two unsightly characters, two unseemly young men, two young thugs walking around the gated community,
Yeah.
and
One of them doesn't shower. That's why
yeah,
he's got the stink lines coming off of him. And one of them is the most dangerous twink in the world.
yeah. So apart, present company excluded. This was a really good addition.
Yeah.
However, the whole reason this edition doesn't get S tier is because of
That little
these
asshole right
these
there who's top
these
tier again.
these two guys, literally you watch the hood, I'll watch the skies thing going on here. we 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 got some fucked up stuff going on with this cover art. Yeah, so there's no way around this, dude. Yun and Evil Ryu were fucking bastards. They
Yeah.
were absolute bastards to deal
I'm
with.
not sure. I'm not sure who was worse. I think Yun was probably
Oh,
worse.
Yun was so much worse.
Dude, I could play him in like C success, and that's like saying a lot because I didn't really play Street Fighter 4 that much. I played Third Strike more around that time.
Damn, that's crazy because I played Street Fighter 4 is probably my it's got to be one of my most played. It's up there.
It's great. Hey, dude, like I was a Third Strike purist just because of the arcade I was at. So it really kind of depends on the
The
environment you were in. If you were playing
yeah,
online, you had to be playing
the
4.
arcades in Pittsburgh fucking ditched Third Strike so goddamn fast.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
they went straight to Street Fighter 4 as soon as possible. People over
yeah.
here were not big fans of Third Strike.
FFA in particular has some other interesting takes when it comes to some of the other Street Fighters as well, which we still have yet to get to some of them. But I mean, people played Street Fighter 4 at FFA, obviously, right? We had a huge fucking setup for Street Fighter 4, and the like, what at the time was pretty novel were the new flat screen like sit down kind of Vuelich style cabs,
Hmm.
um, which was crazy. I mean, those are great, and the thing to keep in mind about AE, I'm going to regurgitate Raphael for a second because he told the story of like why Arcade Edition's balance was so fucked. And the craziest shit about this was that this was some Machiavellian, strategy by Capcom in order to make Japan the one true master race of Street Fighter. Yeah, it's just they did it on purpose. It was fucking on purpose, dude. They didn't give a shit. They weren't even going to originally release Arcade Edition on console, but
This is a true
they brought
story.
they brought it over here, and then eventually they made it DLC on console, so you could buy it on
15
Xbox Live.
bucks, 15 bucks on Xbox Live. I remember the
That's
day.
right.
I
I
remember
remember
the
that.
day. And then Ultra was 20 bucks on Xbox Live. Cha-ching, motherfucker. $60 for the game. Thank you. $15 for arcade. $5 for every costume pack. $20 for Ultra.
Oh god,
Dude,
the costume
these
packs, dude.
motherfuckers milked like $170 out of me with this fucking game.
Dude, you couldn't even get like the exact costumes you wanted. You had to buy
Yeah.
them in
Yes,
packs.
you did. You like summer pack, animal pack, and they were all
And
like $5.
you wouldn't even get it for all the
And
characters.
then there was pack A and pack B. There would be like
Yeah.
vacation pack A, vacation pack B. Dude, people bitch about the fighting pass now. Guys, it's
Ooh.
$40. You get all the costumes, all the colors, all the characters. Yeah, it should be 5 characters. I don't know why it's 4, but
Strange, yeah.
you're getting a big balance patch. Dude, every single year you're getting costumes with the pack, you're getting colors with the pack, you're getting characters, you're getting a rebalance. Basically, you're
New
just
stages,
that's your
like-
admission ticket for each of these editions. What you used to pay for, or what you pay for the season passes, that's what we used to pay for like the editions and the costumes and all the little shit. Now it's all just in one place. You know, not much has changed.
It's much more centralized in Street Fighter 6 and even Street Fighter 5. I mean, fuck, you could actually argue that Street Fighter 5 was even better when it came to the microtransactions because like you could
Yeah.
earn the fight money by doing the trials and shit. And
They also
playing arcade mode.
released an edition that was like, fuck it, just give us $30 and you'll get everything. All the characters, all the costumes, all the fucking...
Yeah, and that shit's awesome, dude. I get to play on the stage where Ryu and Sagat fought, and I can't see their feet. And I can't see if Ryu's trying to low forward me. It's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah,
Really cool stage though.
We'll get there. But yeah, I like Arcade Edition.
Version 2012, the update really did help. It made it a lot more competitively, like, not as fucked up.
And that's what we played for 2 years until Ultra came out.
Yeah, and Ultra was... I remember, like, people were like,
Yoink.
this has to be like a joke, right? Like, they're gonna do an Ultra? This has to be like a joke. They're not actually gonna do that. They did it.
I
Ono
think
didn't give a fuck.
Ultra Street Fighter 4 has got to be one of the greatest fighting games of all time. It is... people hate Elena, sure. Sure, Elena's pretty annoying. But to be fair, we were also all shitters back then compared to now. If
Elena, I actually agree with Baffael. I think Elena was just overrated.
I don't think Elena is this like absurd monster that everyone seems to think she is. She's got strong tools, but like, you ever heard of Yun? You ever heard of
Evil
Akuma?
Ryu?
You ever heard of Akuma? Fucking walk forward sweep and it's safe. And he
Evil
just,
Ryu is number one in Ultra
Ooh, honestly,
today.
yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like,
Yeah, he's number one. I mean, think about it, right? Like the whole limitation of having less health doesn't fucking matter anymore. People are good enough that they can play around it. Like Evil Ryu is incredibly strong. He's
Yeah,
got like
also-
axe kick.
damage is not nearly as explosive in 4 as it is in 6. So the health nerf is like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
you know?
also and plus to do the really insane shit in Street Fighter 4, not only does it take like lots of practice, lots of muscle memory, can't fucking talk. It also takes luck. Like you're not going to hit it every time. It's a one frame link for some of that shit.
Yeah, and I honestly kind of miss that aspect of fighting games. People, especially like casuals, complain about spamming the same combo. And it's like, motherfucker, blame the game for only having like one optimal combo. In Street Fighter
Yeah.
4, there were so many routes for so many different options that led into so many different option selects that it was,
Yeah.
you never saw the same thing twice more often than not.
And I'm going to say that I have an interesting perspective here about Street Fighter 4 as well, as somebody who played Third Strike. I think, especially now, getting into Street Fighter 4 is pretty much just as daunting as getting into Third Strike almost.
Oh,
It
yeah.
hasn't been out as long as Third Strike, but what's happening in Street Fighter 4 is a very similar thing of the amount of knowledge that is stacked up against you is insurmountable. They're hitting you with layers upon layers of tech that you can't even
Oh, yeah.
see unless you've played the game for enough time, right? Like, what the fuck is a crouch tech? What the fuck is delay tech? What the fuck is a fuzzy guard? I don't know what fuzzy guard is. What the fuck? What, you can cross me up in the corner? Like, it's just all this shit, right? Like against, like, imagine going up against Punko playing like
Oh
Seth.
god, that would be a
Imagine that.
miserable experience.
And you'd be like, I'm good. I'm gonna go back and play Street Fighter 6 now.
Yeah.
Like very much the same thing is going to happen. Um, and I think nowadays the balance is gonna kind of be comparable to Third Strike, like almost like. Do people really have much of a reason to play anybody other than like Evil Ryu, Elena? Fuck, who are the other top tiers in Ultra?
Yun.
I'm trying to remember. Yun is still very good. Yeah, Yang is pretty
Poison.
good too.
Poison
Poison's
is up
very
there.
good. DeCapre,
Yeah, DiCapre's up there. Yeah, but
very solid.
that's something I will say for Street Fighter 4 that is just automatically better than Third Strike. Like if you go play it online right now, you're gonna see a pretty diverse amount of the cast. You're gonna see at least one character representing each archetype of play. Whereas,
Yeah,
and part of that
but
just
it's
has to do with
also
the bigger roster.
yeah, and also I mean to Third Strike's credit, Street Fighter 4 is much different in the fact that it is very counter pick based. That's why online you can't see what the other person. I mean, you can't see who's picking what in Street Fighter 6, but like the character select screen literally like you can see it in Street Fighter 4 and you don't get to see what your opponent is playing because they don't want you to counter pick.
You can only
Um
pick your ultra after seeing your opponents.
yeah, yeah. So whoever you picked you're locked in with, but like um Street Fighter 4 in particular is very similar to Super Turbo actually because it's just a very counter pick based game. That's why we saw the fucking
The
Hakan
con,
thing
yeah,
with
yeah.
because it was a direct counter pick to Balrog, you know? Um
I think if Street Fighter 4 was released in the current climate now, it would have a very different legacy surrounding it.
yeah, I think so too.
Because
Definitely.
you would see after every loss, you'd see people swap characters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it would be. And
Part of Street Fighter 4 is so legendary because of the time it existed, and
oh, that's a
also
great point.
it
Yeah.
basically made fighting games fighting games. Because let's be honest, you guys know Evo would get like maybe 100 entrants before Street Fighter 4. Like
Yeah.
these games were like, bro, if you told a girl that you played fighting games, the best outcome is she goes like, "Oh, what's that?" The worst outcome is she fucking calls the cops on you.
Yeah.
Like
No, and to her credit, she should.
you start telling her about Sanwa parts in fucking in like 2000 and like
Start
three.
talking to her about Octogate. What, you're a fucking Zangief player, dude?
Yeah,
You're like a school shooter.
yeah. You go like, so, girl, you want to see my green hand into SPD delay tech fuzzy guard setup? She's gonna fucking pepper spray you.
Hello, human resources. Hello.
Yeah. But Street Fighter 4 made fighting games cool, and I don't like to give points based on legacy, but this game basically made the genre. I don't think I don't think 90% of people would be here without this game.
I'll also say if I were making this tier list, it would Third Strike and Ultra would probably be swapped, but that's okay, right?
Damn.
Like, yeah. See, it's just we had different experiences, you know. Like it really depends on where you were and what you were doing at the time that these games
I
were
also
out.
do feel like Street Fighter 4 is just more playable now. Like there's more like I could turn the game on right now and play matches like all day. Thank God
It doesn't
for
have rollback
Fightcade.
though, huh?
Yeah.
That's kind of a problem, right?
That's
Like
a big problem.
that's kind of a point towards Third Strike.
It actually is, honestly, yeah. Although that's not really a point towards fight or Third Strike. That's more of a point towards like Fightcade.
Shout out to Fightcade.
Yeah.
Fightcade's great.
Dude, if it wasn't for Fightcade, I'd be talking about how this game might actually be going down here. If the only way you could play it is that fucking 30th anniversary bullshit where it's completely dead, then
Yeah.
that's a real problem. Like
These games in a way,
I think
like,
I think how playable the game is today actually absolutely factors into how good it is. Because
I agree.
We see these games have stood the test of time. I could go on Fightcade and play Third Strike all day. I can go on Fightcade and play Super Turbo all day. I could go on Steam and play Ultra Street Fighter 4 all day. But you know what I can't go play all day or like at all, even if I wanted to? Like fucking Mortal Kombat 9. I can't.
yeah, that's a sad one.
You can't play it. You can't. You can get games on MKX. You cannot play Mortal Kombat 9. You just fucking can't. Can't play Tekken Tag 2 online. You can go play Tekken 7. You know.
I actually love MK9 as fucked up as that game is. That game was actually very similar to Street Fighter 4 in what it did for its own series.
Yeah. Too bad they
but
threw it all away.
I'm also gonna say Street Fighter 4, like, I do actually think, like, now that I think about it, right, I think your placement of Ultra is pretty good because, like, what it did, right, for fighting games is very important. Let
Like,
me take you back really quick
all right.
to 2005. All right. Couple things were happening. YouTube, it was the first year of YouTube, you know. Event Hubs was around, SRK. But for the most part, 2D fighting games were fucking dead. They were dead. Now, the Daigo parry, it was making waves, right? And I had seen it in 2005, like on SRK, I believe. Or maybe even the Evo website. Fuck, dude. I
Oh,
think
dude, that's
Evo,
ancient.
dude, Evo might have had a fucking form. Or maybe I saw it on the Fighters generation. Like, fuck, dude, I don't know. But it was dead, right? So like they weren't releasing new Street Fighters. We got the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, which had Third Strike. That was the first time I played Third Strike, was on the Anniversary Collection, and it was really like weird, right? It was like, wow, this is so much different, but it was beautiful. It was a beautiful game. And going to FFA when I was in like the sixth grade, seeing people play Third Strike and then getting whooped by a Makoto player was a very humbling experience. Um, but then 2006 comes along and they announced Street Fighter 4. And everybody who knows anything about Street Fighter collectively loses their shit. Nobody thought it was going to happen. People thought that Street
Yeah,
Fighter was
people
dead
actually
forever.
thought the franchise was dead after Third Strike. Like that was going to be it.
They were really scared. They were really scared to make another Street Fighter because of the Street Fighter 3 games. They were such a massive financial
Flop, yeah.
failure. And it's sad because like I appreciate Third Strike. One of the things I really like about it is that it took risks. And it didn't always land, but it took risks, right? Like it did some very like ballsy things. I mean, have we even mentioned Perry? Like Perry is like a genius
Oh, yeah,
mechanic.
I forgot to mention this. I wanted to say this when we got on Third Strike. I really like Third Strike's parry. I also like Red Parry. I like
Red Perry's
how
amazing, yeah.
I like how you can parry your way out of things. I'm not too big a fan of Street Fighter Six's just hold down the button and it'll parry for you system. It's definitely
Yeah.
got some pros in that it opens up design space. They can do things that like, would be Red Parry level of difficulty execution wise, but they can just
Yeah.
make that common because it's so easy to parry. And
There's
perfect parry
there's
still
less.
rewards you for that Third Strike style parry.
Yeah, not as heavily. I will say the fact that the damage scaling is insane when you get a
Yeah,
perfect
yeah.
parry is like
Oh, I don't
strange.
worry. I have a lot to say about this game.
Oh yeah. So Parry is amazing, and Red Parry is like a super hype fucking
Yeah,
like
I love
knowledge
seeing Red
check.
Parry.
Like I know the fucking timing. I know you better than you know yourself. Third Strike's one of the only games that I think that you can really have one of those Kill Bill Volume 2 Pai Mei situations where like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm fucking you in the ass. You can't even touch me. Fuck
I
you,
mean, that's
right? Like
I did touch on that. I said this is one of those games where like if you are a better player, it really shows. Like
yeah,
the
definitely.
better player will not lose to the worst player in this game.
Because you're also thinking of like it's not just the character knowledge or the matchup knowledge, it's the little scenarios that happen. Just these little scenarios like, oh, this guy jabbed me out of the air. I've seen this a million times. I know what they're gonna do. They're either gonna try to throw me or they're gonna try to like poke me with something. And I have an answer for both of those things. There's some players like that just know what to do because they've seen that situation play out 1,000 times, hundreds of thousands of times, you know. So Third Strike is in that way it's a very different
It's
kind
very
of game,
technical.
very technical, very just like
Tech
you're one.
driven.
I probably have 1,000 hours playing it in the arcade. I'll say that, and that's fucking pennies compared to the tens of thousands of hours that some people have. Like that's truly one of the games of all time.
But
It's like,
yeah, I
but
usually like to only evaluate games based off of how good they actually are and have ended up being. But Street Fighter 4 is such a unique case of like it's actually hard to put this into words how important this game is for fighting games because
yeah,
right after this
especially 2D fighting games.
right after this Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5, these games exploded.
Yeah,
And there are more people that have played Tekken 7 than there are people who have played all of these games minus Street Fighter 4 combined. Technically minus
Absolutely.
Street Fighter 2, but I'm talking people who actually like play them, not like home console sales, not like that kind of
Or
shit.
just like dads that played it
Yeah,
for a little
yeah.
bit. And,
Yeah, like
yeah.
if we discount Street Fighter 2 cuz it sold like 8 million copies, if we add up all of the Tekkens and all of the Street Fighters other than that one singular edition of Street Fighter 2 that sold like 8 million copies, Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5 individually are more popular than every fighting game ever put together before it. And that's only
Yeah.
because of the explosion that this game caused. And then these games capitalized on it by being really, for as much as we all bitch about accessibility and comeback mechanics, if it wasn't for those, you wouldn't see 20,000
no,
people playing Street
definitely.
Fighter 6 on a weekday. Like right now, it is 5:30 on a Thursday. Let me just go on the other monitor here and let me just pull up fucking
If I queue up, I'll get a match in like a couple
like
seconds.
a second, but I just want to pull up Steam charts to put this into perspective. Let me just do this. Hold on. Street Fighter 6. Right now, there are 13,000 people playing Street Fighter 6 at 5:30 a.m.
Concurrently, yeah,
on
concurrently
Thursday.
right now. That's
Do
crazy.
you know how fucking insane that is?
That's pretty crazy.
Like a fighting game has almost 14,000 people playing it at 5 in the morning on a work day.
And I want to say in 2005,
There
of.
wasn't even 13,000 people playing every fighting game consecutively at any point in the world.
Yeah, it was fucking. It was dead. It was dead. It was like a truly enthusiast thing. And when Street Fighter 4 came out, it opened the floodgates. That's what I like to say, is that it opened the floodgates. Other developers saw that it was being successful, and it was like, we can make fighting games now too. So we got,
Yeah.
I mean, Blaze Blue came out after that.
And,
you know,
and
like
that is definitely part of me saying it's an S tier game, because that is genuinely like a not even once in a generation. That's like once in a fucking century moment where like this.
That was make or break, dude.
Yeah, no, seriously.
It was make or break.
Let's put it this way: if Street Fighter 4 didn't happen, there's probably no Tekken 8. There's probably no Deep Dragon Ball Fighter F. There's probably no like at that point, these games would only live on as platform fighters copying Smash, and that's it. That's if you're lucky.
Yeah. No, they showed that Street Fighter was more than just like, Street Fighter 2, right? Like it showed that Street Fighter is a lasting name, and that's why Street Fighter, like, again, everybody collectively lost their shit. It opened the floodgates. Everything changed after 4, because like before that it was dead. Like there were some fighters coming out. There was Guilty Gear and shit, but like it wasn't like what happened after Street Fighter 4 came out.
All right.
I
think it's time.
So I want to say really quick about this next game. This is, and I'm not even joking, this is no hyperbole. This was the most disappointing video game launch I had ever experienced.
Street Fighter 5 Vanilla.
Oh my god.
This game, dude, I don't even want to say it's all right. Like it's not worst by any stretch of the imagination, but it's bad. Oh,
it's very bad.
It's bad. This game was so bad, mainstream games journalists were talking about how bad it was.
Yeah, and they usually have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They usually just give fighting games like an 8, and they're like, yeah, it's good.
This game, let me tell you a thing about Street Fighter 5. I was all grown up.
Yep.
I was ready to go into this as an adult with legitimate competitive experience behind me. I was like, all right, this is it. What Street Fighter 4 was to my dad, this is going to be to me.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, was I wrong. Honestly, I need a tier below these games, but above this. Like
F tier for fucked.
Yeah, dude, honestly, like hold on. Cuz Street Fighter 1 isn't even like a fighting game. Like you can't play against other people. It's
that's a weird fucking thing.
So this fucking game didn't have any single player content. So
Nope.
unless you wanted to queue up for ranked, this game was not for you.
Oh, wait. Here's the thing, though, dude.
Oh, I'm about to
Day
get into it.
one,
I'm about to get into it. I'm about to get
yeah,
into it. The ranked system there. Does anybody remember Dr. Smuggles, ranked one in the
of
world
course.
at platinum?
PhD.
PhD Smuggles, Doctor. Let me say it like he would. Let me drop it like the Smuggles would. You know,
Doctor was
Doctor
Smuggles
PhD Smuggles. Put the pressure on him. He was ranked one in the world as platinum, and he
with
lost.
the greatest of ease.
He lost against a bronze player with the greatest of ease. He dropped the set with the greatest of ease. He lost a cool 325 rank points.
That's a lot.
And if he were to beat that bronze, he would gain a solid 5 rank points. I will never forget that screenshot. The rank system in this game was so fucked until it got reworked that
Yeah.
the entire first look, dude, I clown on Street Fighter 6's rank system. The fact that people like Donkey and DSP could just pick Honda, play like a retard and spam headbutt butt slam all day and get master. Like I clown on this game a lot for that rank system being so lenient. But
Yeah, it doesn't really
this is
mean
what
much in that
happens
game.
when a rank system is too fucking strict. It took people a solid year for like the average Joe to get out of bronze. This rank system would pit golds up against bronze. And this was a time you would have people like Daigo in the same bracket as Timmy, who just started playing, because you could play 3 brackets up and 3 brackets down. That is actually how the day one rank system worked in this game. If you were bronze, you could play against gold, and vice versa.
If you could even play online at all.
Yeah,
it didn't work day one.
Yep, yeah, it didn't work day 1. It didn't work day 2. It didn't work day 3. Took them a whole fucking week for the first patch to like really iron out the online to so where you could play it. And another thing I have to mention, and this was a cancer on this game for its entire life: 8 frames, 8 frame
which
built-in delay.
Which technically, dude, on PS4, I think was even worse because you have the
you-
built-in input lag of the PS4
Do you
on top of the
know
8.
how fucking bad 8 frames of input delay is? If you go on Street Fighter 4's training room and you do simulate online connection and you set it to 8 frames, there is a noticeable gap between when you press the button and when it comes out. This game launched with an online so fucking bad that it was comparable to a no rollback, like 3 or 4 bar connection. And that was the best match you were going to get, was a Street Fighter 4 3 bar connection.
And allegedly the game had rollback. Allegedly.
I was so fucking mad when this game came out. It almost turned me off of fighting games for good. This game.
How many characters did it have? It had 12?
Yeah, it was dude, it was bad. It was so bad.
Yeah, man.
There was no V reverse, or not V reverse. There was no V shift. There was no defensive mechanics like whatsoever. This is when they made it so DPs had to be EX'd to be a reversal.
Yeah.
Oh man, God. Oh, and guys, do you guys remember before the crush counter nerfs? How crush counter would like increase your damage instead of lowering it?
Yeah.
The way
the scaling was fucked.
The way punish counters work now in Street Fighter 6 is how crush counters used to work back then. And the way crush counters would work is if I did a heavier button, like if I did a fierce and you did like a medium and they traded, the fierce would win and it would crush counter and it would do like a mini stun. It would you would flip back a bit. Motherfuckers like Urian. Shaw, 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 chop, 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 chop. Dude, when Urian came out, this motherfucker's whole game plan was stand fierce, stand fierce, stand fierce, stand fierce.
He was running a train, dude.
His whole game plan was hit stand fierce until it crush countered, dash up, do like crouching fierce into the ball, into dash for like 40% life. And it's like, this is legitimately not fun. This is actually not fun.
And let's keep in mind, right? Street Fighter V, especially when it came out, was the most volatile that it ever was, right? This is a game where this was the last game that they had stun in, like in the traditional sense, a stun meter, actually kind of like the Street Fighter 3 games, ironically, but this was the last one to have that. And so like it was not uncommon that you would get touched twice and you would be dead. In fact, it was very common, especially with Rainbow Mika.
Oh,
remember Rainbow Mika, dude?
Dude, Mika's V-Trigger 1. Oh my
It
god.
was fucked.
And this design was I'll be honest. I don't like V triggers at all. I
yeah, I don't like him either.
people talk about V triggers and ultras as if they're in any way comparable. Bro, if I FADC Shoryuken you into Ultra 1, it does like 450 damage, like at most.
Yeah, and it all
Fucking
depends on like
if
how
I
much meter you have. Yeah.
if I chariot tackle you into fucking Aegis Reflector, you're losing that fucking game more often than not. You know? So
Yeah.
um I always tell people when I'm showing them clips of this game, like my non-fighting game fans, I'll show them a clip of like Tokido Urien, and he'll be getting washed, and then that V meter will fill up, and I'll say, okay, so now the Urien's winning, and they're like, huh? And then they'll watch him do like fucking forward medium punch, Aegis Reflector, some whack ass mix up that obliterates the opponent, and they're like, but that guy was winning the entire game, and he's just dead now, and I'm like, that is why people hate this game.
Yeah. It was fucked. And since like being pressured by somebody like Urien, especially when he first came out, I mean that motherfucker's normals are crazy. That guy could just fucking harass you all day. He had a step kick. His standing fierce was crazy. He could mix you up with his standing roundhouse. He had a safe EX headbutt on block. Safe.
Dude, if he had spacing traps with his normal headbutt. There is this
You can make it safe.
I was actually a coach in New Challenger for a little bit. And there is this one Urien who joined. He was super diamond at the time. He ended up being a big Urien streamer, and he's like Warlord now and shit. And this guy, he taught me how to play Urien because I wanted to pick the character up. And he showed me, now mind you, this was season 2, he was showing me this headbutt loops where you could do like stand jab, jab into headbutt, into stand jab jab headbutt, stand jab jab headbutt, and it was all safe. And
Yeah.
it's like, dude, headbutt loops, if you could do headbutt loops in season 2, you probably could get like top 100 rank with Urien. Like, oh my god, Abigail, day one Abigail,
Oh yeah, that was fucking
I
insane.
know a guy who I met him in New Challenger, funny enough. He was hard stuck gold. And like with Akuma, he picked Abigail. Within a week, he was super diamond in like the top 300 ranks in the world.
Yeah.
Abigail was that fucking overpowered. People complain about Bison. Guys, when Abigail came out, you could be a bottom 100,000 ranked player. You could be let me put this in Street Fighter 6 terms for people. You could be an iron tier player, and if a character like Abigail came out today, you could get up to like Diamond 3 within a week. Easily.
Yeah.
It is like it is like that big of a gap.
We talked about how Rainbow Mika could touch you. Abigail could one touch you. He
Yeah.
did so much damage. It was out of fucking control. It was insane.
He legitimately, like, he does more damage than Bison does now. Like, it's fucking insane.
Easy, dude. Like,
And
oh
his
my
normals
God.
went like all the way across the screen. He was one of the most broken character releases of all time. Because
His whole gimmick was that he was huge, right? Like he's as big as half the screen, so like you didn't really have any problems getting in your face. You know?
all right, now on to better places.
Greener pastures.
Dude, holy fuck, talk about a glow up. I think
They
they
should-
literally saved this game.
they should have waited.
Yeah.
They should have waited. The whole reason that they released Street Fighter V the way it was because they wanted to make it in time for the Capcom Pro Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And like
They didn't want another year of Street Fighter 4.
and that is just fucking stupid. I mean like literally like you have to understand, right? Arcade Edition is a huge improvement.
Oh yeah.
But the reputation of
Yeah.
5 was forever tarnished because of the launch of Street Fighter 5. Like 12 characters, broken as fuck, no defensive options,
nothing to do.
online that barely fucking worked.
People who played this game day one, I know because I was there. You literally couldn't play this game. You know
Yeah.
how bad Payday 3 was at launch and how everyone talked about
Oh,
that?
boy.
It's literally on that level. You spent $60 on this game. There was 0 single player content, and the online didn't work for like a week. And it's
Yeah,
like,
we got to talk about Payday at some point too, because that's
Oh,
like my
yeah.
most played game.
that's
Payday
funny because
2.
I have thousands of hours in Payday 1 and 2, and I'm creeping up to like 303 now.
I've got like 750 hours in Payday 2, but like that's
But
man, that's a lot of
dude,
hours, dude.
Dude, fucking, yeah, I'm Infamy 500 in Payday 2.
That's
Actually grinded legitimately, which that's the
crazy.
craziest part.
That's
Anyway,
actually almost impossible to do. Like everybody was cheating, dude.
fucking Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition. Holy shit. V shift, actual defensive options,
Yep.
two V skills, two V triggers. You can actually like play the matchup now. Like there's actual matchup knowledge. Like, oh, this character's V trigger. They're playing Urian, so I can go V trigger 2 to get around Aegis Reflector. Like you actually had options.
It saved the game.
Yeah, it did. It legitimate single player content.
Yeah, it added arcade mode.
It's crazy to
The
think.
arcade edition added arcade mode. Look, I'm also gonna say, I think Street Fighter Five, dude, like vanilla, it just reeks of Yoshinori Ono. Can we talk about this motherfucker for a
Dude.
second?
Fuck you.
We gotta talk about Yoshinori Ono, man. And
Remember?
like,
Wait, hold on, real quick. Remember when Kage went live, like a few hours before the reveal, and Yosho, like, he freaked the fuck out on his staff? This is a story
oh,
not a lot of people remember, or at least
I
heard
don't think I
about.
remember this. Yeah,
So
I don't think I remember this.
you can look this one up if you want to fact check me. But Kage just showed up. You want an example of how poorly handled this game was? Kage just showed up one day on the character select screen. People were posting Twitter combos with Kage, like they were not gonna release it. The home or the room or the ribbing room or the ribbing room. Kage, please hold on. Wait. Hold on. I have to pull up SoundPad because I know. Here it is. I fucking have it, dude. I actually have it on my goddamn SoundPad. Yeah, it's Preach and play try Kage.
Kage.
Dude,
And you
it's
could
on
tell
my
he was
SoundCloud.
like,
It's on my fucking SoundCloud. That clip, that's where people have been downloading it from. It has like
oh
10,000
shit.
downloads now. Yeah.
That's how you know that he was like scrambling, dude. He was
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, dude, we got to do the reveal right now."
Yeah, but
because they accidentally released it.
people heard him like screaming at his staff members. He's like, "What the fuck do you mean it's out?" Like, yeah, because like the patch got launched like a week before it was supposed to, so they had to just like rush to get it on. And oh man, that whole
I remember when that happened. I remember when it got released early. That was fucking
it was so
crazy. And
weird.
plus, yeah, Kage was a
Kage
interesting
sucked.
character.
Fuck
Yeah,
Kage. Kage
he's
sucked. Dude,
interesting in like the shitty sense, you know.
dude, we got
What
exactly
were they thinking?
one good thing out of fucking out of Kage. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up this YouTube clip. We got
The
exactly
whack ass mix up.
that you already know. I'm gonna block this whack ass mix up.
Just fair warning, everybody. You're going to see somebody die.
This
I love the double perfects. Oh shit, crush. I'm gonna block this whack ass mix up.
It's so grimy. Now, oh, by the way, guys, that guy sucks.
yeah, look at this shit. This is just some random diamond scrub, and watch how he takes this round off the V trigger. Like literally just off the V trigger.
Oh my.
Like holy fuck, man.
That guy doing that mix-up can't even throw a fireball across the screen. What a fucking wimp, dude. He's a fucking beta. Absolute beta. Yeah, so Kage, they did the evil Ryu, quote-unquote, character really dirty.
Yeah.
Made me sad. I was really excited because, like, evil Ryu is just a fucking cool concept to me. And how he was implemented in some of the early games, which, again, we're getting to that. But Arcade Edition fucking saved the game despite the fact that Yoshinori Ono was doing everything he could to run Street Fighter into the ground after nailing it with Street Fighter 4. In fact, if I recall correctly, not to go back to Street Fighter 4 too much, I think one of the reasons that game actually did well at all was because of Seth Killian. Had to do with like, early versions of Street Fighter 4. Ono, Seth Killian might deserve a little bit more credit than he usually gets, but
All right, Champion Edition.
now the game is good.
Yeah, for me, this is S tier.
Ooh, S tier.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All right,
Shit.
yeah. Let me elaborate on this. Now, again, for all the Third Strike people who are absolutely seething, saying, "How are you gonna put this whack ass game above Third Strike? Fucking V Trigger, blah 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 blah." Listen,
It's okay. I'm representing them.
yeah,
It's
listen,
all right.
just listen to me.
Guys,
Just hear me out on this one.
just sit down, guys. It's okay.
So,
It's all right.
Street Fighter V, for all of its faults, is the perfect game for the time it came out, just like Tekken 7. Because if this game wasn't as accessible as it was, with the 3-frame like input buffer, with the easy way for scrubs to win with a V trigger, if this game doubled down on Street Fighter 4's difficulty or went back to Third Strike's like just like understanding level tech and knowledge and all that,
It would be
again-
2005
again,
all over again.
we wouldn't
Yeah.
see like 14,000 people playing fucking Street Fighter 6 at 6 in the morning on a Thursday. We wouldn't see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And as much as I prefer FGC over esports when it comes to my fighting games,
True. Yeah. Same.
you gotta admit, man, it's nice that fighting game players can actually get paid now. You know,
Oh, yeah,
Daigo
dude.
doesn't win 2 Evos in a row and walks away with like 10 grand in a fucking dinky rinky trophy.
Dude, I can't believe how much money Sonic Fox has made playing fighting games.
Yeah,
and
well,
NRS games for that matter.
yeah, but NRS is, dude, I should talk about Mortal Kombat one day. Talk about a fucking series.
You know what? If you do a Mortal Kombat tier list, I would love to be there for that.
I might do that because I have a lot to say about Mortal Kombat.
I
Okay,
love Mortal Kombat. I fucking
But,
grew up with that shit, dude.
But
Like,
anyway, so Champion Edition is Street Fighter V perfected. They toned down a lot of the stupid, gimmicky, I fucking win bullshit. They nerfed a lot of the top tiers. Luke is a problem, sure. But
yeah, I remember that. I remember when he came out. That was fucked up. I think was Mena RD playing Luke?
I don't
when,
fucking know. I don't like Mena. I got beef with Mena because I played Birdie a lot.
Oh yeah, and he was like a.
He
I mean, that
was- he was
motherfucker
the-
looks like Birdie.
He was the Birdie guy. I hate how the CPT costume he gave Birdie was just like, oh yeah, make him look like
Oh
me.
my god,
It's the
you
worst
just reminded
it's
me
the
of that,
worst
dude.
CPT costume of all time. The most narcissistic CPT costume I've ever seen. Remember when Knuckle Doodang won CPT and he just gave Guile a great costume? Just
The
had
Street Fighter
just-
4 costume,
it
baby.
just had Knuckle Doo written on the name tag. That's all it was.
Yeah.
This guy was like, give him my haircut, make him fat, like make him my kind of fat, give him the fade, put my name on it. And it's like, dude.
It makes me kind of sad what they did to Birdie in 5. Like, why did they make him like a fucking...
They
like a-
immediately reverted back to their racist tropes of the Street Fighter 4 days.
You're telling me, man.
Dude,
That's some fucking...
Dude, we finally get a new black character after all this time, and he's a fat, disgusting, fucking literal pig. And it's
Birdie comes back and he's literally let it all go. And guess what? Guess the big new mechanic they gave Birdie? Trash mix up. He throws trash on the ground. Imagine being in the boardroom. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Birdie, dude, we're bringing him back. He hasn't
We're-
been here since
we're-
Alpha 3, baby.
we're-
He's gonna throw trash on the ground.
we're gonna take
And he's
him.
gonna be
We're
fat.
gonna take him from this this white guy. Well, he was like black in Alpha 3, so I guess he was canonically black at this point. But it's like,
Yeah, he had a cold.
yeah, we're gonna take this fucking this guy, and we're just gonna make him just Capcom has a surprisingly bad history of dealing with black characters. They
Yeah.
they have not
Definitely.
Look, I'm not about calling things racist. I don't like doing that, but fuck, man, it's pretty hard not to.
You just look at the history.
My fight money, like, bro, my fight money, like, come on, dude. And they kept fucking nerfing him. Remember how they nerfed DJ in Arcade Edition when he was already like bottom 3? Like,
Oh, dude.
what?
He is like, looks like he's like they took him from another game and they didn't incorporate him at all.
Remember Sonic Soul?
Yes.
Fucking the DJ player who then became the Nash player, who now he's like an insane person on Twitter. He's like Bushin style almost now.
He can't stop.
He's Black Bushin style.
Yeah. Oh, well, don't tell him that, dude. It's gonna be like
Dude,
Viscount versus
he'll-
LTG all over again. You
Dude,
call him the Black DSP.
Dude, if I say he's the Black Bushin style, that motherfucker will be in my comment section. Like,
Dude, you might get a standing ovation though.
like
I think people would agree with you.
it's crazy. It is crazy how fucking. Oh man, thank God we have people like Punk. Because
Yeah.
if we didn't have people like Punk and K-Brad, you'd be like, man, these African Americans playing these fighting games, they're quite the wily bunch. You know, we got Sonic Fox and we got Sonic Soul. They're quite the wild bunch. You know, thank God we got people like Punk and K-Brad, you know, keeping
And
it real.
Smug
And Smug. Smuggles is another good one.
Smug, dude.
Yeah, Smug is so fucking funny, dude.
Dude, Smug he was doing fucking one frame links on a shitty ass 360 pad in Street Fighter 4 online.
The 360 pad on Street Fighter 4. Oh my god. Okay, but
so bad.
Champion Edition, I completely lost the plot. So Champion Edition's pretty good.
That was good. Very good.
So part of the reason why I have this in S tier is because this is the most feature complete Street Fighter ever. It has
a huge 180.
Yeah, it has the most single player content. It has the best training tools. Okay, I'm about to say something controversial to the Third Strike people. Man, oh fuck, dude, don't ever let Third Strike players catch me talking about this game. So I'm gonna say something. And I need everyone to bear with me here.
Guys, sit down. It's okay.
I need everyone to bear with me here. The Daigo parry is not actually difficult to pull off. I know. Okay, listen. I know
what you mean, actually.
The reason why it is special is because, for one, there was no training mode back then.
Mm-hmm.
Two, there was a rumor going around. Let me prove my credibility as a kid who legitimately grew up in the arcades playing Third Strike before Street Fighter 4 came out. I can prove my credibility right here. Does anyone remember how it was theorized that it was impossible to parry Chun-Li's super? This was a big, conspiracy back in the day, that it couldn't be done. Her super had, an anti-parryable property. Now, there was a group of people that were dead set on figuring this out. That is why you can hear, I forget the guy's name, but you can hear him yell, "Don't do it, Justin!" Because, and here's the other thing I want to point out about that parry and why it's not difficult at all. Justin couldn't have made it more fucking obvious he was going to super there. He literally couldn't have. He's literally walking forward, crouch, walk forward, crouch, micro step, crouch, micro step, crouch.
Yeah, he was buffering.
Yeah, he's buffering the super when he's in chip kill range. So most people were under the impression that you could not parry that specific super. And with no means of training and dude, fucking 360p recording software with no way to slow it down, we had no way of knowing. And this shows that Daigo had a Chun-Li player in Japan just sit there and do that super on him. Do you know he must have spent 20 hours practicing that? Because they gotta put a quarter in the machine, they gotta build up the meter, then they've just gotta let it go, then he's gotta practice the parry, practice the punish. Now, you right now listening to this, if you are big into fighting games, you could go on Fightcade, go into the training room, because there's a mod for it. Fightcade is a modded Third Strike to where you are able to do that. You just have to hold down F12, I forget the hotkey, something like that. You could do this if you had modern day training tools in 5-10 minutes, assuming you're not a complete novice. It is not mechanically difficult. It is more the allure of all the factors surrounding it.
And also, it's all about with that, at that Evo, the circumstances around it, right?
Yeah.
It is literally down to the wire, last game, last round, last set, right? It's
that
the pressure is fucking on, right? The nerves would get to anybody, and somehow he was able to do it.
And a big part, if you go back on the SRK forums around this time, people were legitimately discussing how, well, actually you can't go on the fucking SRK forums, rip that website.
Rest in peace.
But dude, look, I'm such a fucking old head, I forgot SRK died 7 years ago. Anyway, dude, my Xbox gamer tag used to be SRK Tanner. Dude, it was fucking I think I'm even on an episode of Excellent Adventures. I might be. I'd have to comb through the 700 fucking episodes. But they're like, this guy has SRK in his name. You know, he's here to play Street Fighter. Because there's
dude, I actually might fucking remember that.
There is.
I might remember that.
But anyway, so.
The thing is, because I actually agree with you, right? Because at the time, in the early 2000s, 2003, 2004. And it really shows the divide in the skill between the US players and the Japanese players.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
on
yeah,
another fucking
yeah.
level. They were studying that
dude,
shit.
our boy Jay Wong is out here fucking micro walking 7 times, buffering, looking for the most obvious super of all time. Meanwhile, the Japanese god Daigo is literally proving everything we thought we knew about the game wasn't actually true. You know,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
over here on SRK, we're talking about how it's physically impossible to parry her super. Then he does it and punishes and wins Evo off of it. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
they were
okay.
they were doing it over there in arcades. Like they were already doing those parries, like because they knew they were like, if we want to be any good at this game, we need to fucking learn how to parry this thing. We have
Yeah,
to.
you can't just
She's
let
the
Chun
best
do this
character in the
shit on
game.
you.
Like we have to kill her off of this, and the best way to do it is to fucking just parry the whole thing. That's how good of a character she is.
But yeah, so those accessibility tools are why I have this game up here, because this game put accessibility front and center. The training room is the best it ever was. It had the best training room out of any fighting game.
Online training mode, yeah.
It had actual frame data built in to the training room.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys remember how in Tekken 7 that was a PC exclusive mod?
And then it was DLC.
Yeah, you had to mod Tekken 7 to get accurate frame data. Do you guys remember, if you wanted frame data in Street Fighter 4, you had to buy like the fucking like game fact guide. You had to...
Dude, this was actually like for a long time frame data was
You had to buy the guide. You had to buy like fucking like Nintendo Power over here.
The Prima, like the
Prima
bratty
guide,
games, like
yeah. Mortal Kombat
and in some
9's
cases,
Prima guide was fucking dog shit. It straight up lied to you.
it's so bad. The Scorpion knows about the flames, you know, like
yeah. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? How minus am I if I fucking, you know, hit you with like crouching heavy punch on block? Oh, you aren't gonna tell me? Shit guide.
And it wasn't even in the game. Like, it wasn't in the game. And you know what people had to do to get it?
We had to record these motherfuckers, throw it into a goddamn editing software and piece it out frame by motherfucking frame. Old school Mortal Kombat players are legit, dude.
Yeah, like, dude, shout out to all the
shout out to Mustard and Ketchup. Holy shit.
Those guys.
They had that shit on their back for a time there.
Shout out to Tom Brady.
Oh, dude, real MK Tom Brady. I fucking love that guy.
And
Sub-Zero,
also,
the clone.
Dude, I'm gonna hit you with the
clone. I'm gonna hit you with the clone. Dude, Tom Brady playing MK Online. This motherfucker sucks. He doesn't know what to do about the clone. I'm gonna slide in the clone on this guy.
People hate the ice clone.
yeah.
I'm coming to fuck shit up.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking slide on you, clone, and throw my clone at you. Get fucked. Hold that shit, bitch. Yeah, I very much.
Also, shout out to Rio, shout out to Shock, and shout out to Long Island Joe, dude.
There's a lot of legendary Mortal Kombat players.
We got to talk about. We'll talk about that at one point. But frame data was elusive at the time.
Yeah,
like, you could not get it.
And then Champion Edition. This is like the first. It might be the first fighting game ever that wasn't some like bootleg fucking Discord only anime fighter. That like
Dong Dong never died, dude.
Yeah,
like it wasn't no fucking Dong Dongs out here.
Yeah, like this was the first game that actually took training seriously, because it's like they realized that people want to get at tournament level without fucking living in a Japan house with 3 other guys who just play Street Fighter all day. You know, like and man, it's just, to me, this game has also aged really well. This game is the right level of difficulty to where execution is still a factor that will trip you up for the first 1,000 hours. But once you're over that hurdle, you're over that hurdle. I could turn the game on right now and do 80% of all the combos that I used to do.
Yeah. I do want to say just about Street Fighter V in general, I do have a couple of things personally that kind of bother me about it.
Oh, yeah.
I think the fact that it's on Unreal 4
kind of sucks.
Just fucking pisses me off, dude. Like, the experience of playing with your friend is like you're loading there all the time. Fucking Tekken 7 had the same problem. I'm so glad that we're away from that. Like, that's one of the reasons like I've always liked playing some of the older games, because
I've got a lot to say about the 2 new games.
Jumping back in to getting back into it feels really good because it doesn't take any time at all. But yeah, despite that, despite any aesthetic things, the soundtrack in Street
Oh,
Fighter Five
oh yeah,
was
yeah,
pretty good
yeah.
too.
I forgot to mention that these two games have godlike soundtracks. I'm not a big fan of jazz. Killing Moon is fucking god tier,
Top
but
tier.
I
Dudley's theme, I really like it.
like I'm not a big fan of like Ken and Alex, the New York Jazz. It just doesn't do
Yeah,
anything for me.
you also hear it a lot because Ken was a really,
Yeah.
I mean, he was picked all the time, so like you would hear it a lot. But I mean, some
I'll,
of the yeah,
I'll tell you right now, my Street Fighter 6 jukebox is just Third Strike, Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5 songs and Street Fighter 2 songs.
okay.
So
I'll tell you what mine is, and you won't expect it.
it's probably got some Alpha music because Alpha has some pretty cool songs.
We'll get to that. I've got a lot of things to say about Alpha. Those games are very
Good,
important.
good because
to me.
I do not have a lot to say about them.
Okay, I can talk about the EX games. I can talk about Alpha, and even some of the weirder shit. But in fact, dude, we'll talk about Street Fighter 2 HD. That's a fucking weird game.
Oh yeah, actually, I'm glad you brought this up because I actually know a good bit about this game. They made a lot of
that's a weird
balance
one.
patches. See, I feel like this game is why the Third Strike community doesn't want like an HD Third Strike with a balance patch, guys.
Yeah, because they tried.
yeah,
They tried
yeah,
with that game,
guys.
and,
Listen,
and people
listen.
were like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Let the team that made this game just let them make an HD remix for Third Strike. Just let it happen, and I guarantee you, you will see Third Strike explode into a super popular game.
I would love to see that.
Anyway, I think it's time.
Because Third Strike will always be there. Like, if you don't want to play whatever the fucking new one is, don't worry about it. You know, like, but Street Fighter 6, yeah. Wow, best, like the best.
This is the best fighting game, maybe of all time. I'm saying that with the context of season 2. I don't know what the future is going to hold. But I do know that right now, this is perhaps the greatest fighting game, and this is honestly a fresh take for the most part because it's always popular to hate the current fighting game, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
And then love the last one.
yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, I usually don't hold those opinions. I loved Street Fighter 4 when it was popular. I loved Street Fighter 5 throughout most of its life because it spent most of its life as Arcade Plus. But Street Fighter 6, this game, let me just fanboy about this game for a second. First off, this is the most balanced Street Fighter ever. This game is so good that characters that everyone would agree is Lily won the first CPT, and she is in most people's bottom 3.
Nobody saw that coming.
This
yeah.
would be like if 12 won Third Strike, like a modern Third Strike tournament. If 12 won it, you'd be like, what the fuck? That's literally impossible.
The curve with Street Fighter 6, because like you guys just did a character tier list for Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, and
like,
most of them are in the S or A tier. Like every character is good.
And even then, like when we go into like the C and D tiers, right? Like the separation isn't like as astronomically huge as some of the earlier games.
Yeah, no, even amongst Street Fighter 5, the difference between like Falk and Luke is pretty big. Like that's a pretty brutal match.
Yeah, like it's like this, right? The reason that 12 sucks in Third Strike is because he is literally an unfinished character.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough time to put him in the oven, and because of that, he simply does not play the game of Third Strike. Sean got nerfed into the fucking ground. Hugo just doesn't really fit in Third Strike as the type of grappler that he is, and Alex is not much better. Right?
And Street Fighter 6 just doesn't have that problem.
It doesn't have that problem.
This
is
something
difference is very
that I really want to point out. Manon is one of the worst characters in the game. Just about everyone agrees that. And part of why she's the worst is she doesn't play Street Fighter 6 very well. She doesn't have good drive, like anything. Her drive rush is terrible. She's just not good at like anything Street Fighter 6. That being said, you still see IDOM getting like top 8s in major tournaments with her. Even though she is basically a Street Fighter fucking like 5 or 4 character in Street Fighter 6. And despite that, she is still perfectly competitively like winning tournament able. And
I almost feel like over time I've started to realize that I think one of the biggest gates to being a playable character is just having damage.
Yes, and
You
every
know?
character. Now, I think that's my biggest critique of Street Fighter 6 is it's just a little too explodey for me. I
Definitely. Yeah,
I
you get
would
touched like twice.
I would like it if the damage was lowered by like 10% because I like it when it takes at least 3 big combos to end the round. I feel like 2's just a little too fast, but to be fair, that only happens in the second or third round where your resources are stocked up.
Yeah.
And the player who spent their resources aggressively in the first round usually wins. So this is the thing. Street Fighter 6 does everything correct. And it has all of the best mechanics of all of the best games. So it's got FADC to allow for free. One of the big complaints of Street Fighter 5 was like you could not differentiate between people playing the same character like you could in 4
Yeah.
or Third Strike.
The good shit was there. Like you had to
I can
use
tell.
the optimal shit.
I can definitely tell the difference between Tokido and Daigo playing Akuma in this game because Daigo loves to focus on his really strong fireball game and leading into neutral into drive rush. Tokido loves to focus on his really strong mix up into fire punch to reset pressure game. Like this is the first Street Fighter in a long time where you can really easily differentiate players of the same character. And that shows you just how many options are opened up by the drive system. Also, it has parry, which I love. That's my favorite part of Third Strike, but it expanded upon parry in what I feel like is a pretty good way because it technically does still have red parries to a lesser extent. Like if you are in a pressure string that isn't 100% real, you can perfect parry out of it. And it's exactly the same as a red parry. It's just a little, instead of a 1 frame, it's like a 2 frame, you know? So,
and also, it doesn't, you don't carry as much inherent risk to throwing out, like when you're just, when you're just going through the motions, it's like, I'm going to do my block string, and like in Third Strike, if somebody red parries you, you're going to fucking eat a lot of damage.
yeah,
There's no fucking
I
scale.
actually like how the parries are scaled. That's something I'm not too fond of in Third Strike. I know Third Strike players love it, but again, I think longer games are generally better games. And I think perfect parry heavily scaling damage is great, frankly, because you're realistically only going to get like 2,000-ish damage off of that. And funny enough, if I throw you out of a parry attempt, that punish counter throw does about 2,000 damage. So
pretty good.
You get like 2,500-ish damage, maybe 3,000 if you spend meter. So the risk reward is still swayed in your favor, but and I know
it's not as fucked up.
I know there's going to be some bitter fuck who like loves Third Strike and cannot adapt to Street Fighter 6. They're going to look at a clip of Daigo getting thrown like 7 times in a row and they're going to be like, the best Street Fighter of all time. Yeah, okay, dude. But it's like there's so much more than just the throw loops. Like I do think throw loops should be nerfed, but like if that's my biggest complaint, that's like my only real complaint is like, yeah, throw loops are a little fucked up. Then it's like
there's also people really heavily hate on drive impacts, and I have to be honest,
get
dude.
good, you fucking
I have
suck.
to be like I gotta be honest, like drive impacts
I think they're
are
great.
more of a detriment to me when I use them.
Yeah, I think drive
not
impacts,
when they get used against me.
I think drive impacts are a fucking amazing addition. It's literally just a focus attack that just plays out. It's just a focus attack without the ability to back out of it. And there are so many derp offense strings that get destroyed by DI. But again, Street Fighter 6 just has so much depth. Do I drive rush in? Like, let's say I'm Aki. Do I drive rush? Do I do bubble drive rush in? Do my coward crouch like forward heavy kick? Oh well, what if they react and DI it? Oh, what if they perfect parry it? Like even though this game massively pushes you towards offense, you can't just turn your brain off and just run strings on people. You just can't.
And I also want to say I really love in Street Fighter 6, I love the return to resource management.
Yes,
you need to be conscious about your resources. When you play online, you can tell the difference between someone who's really good at the game and someone who is really bad by how they're spending their drive meter. Bad players love to just they will burn themselves out.
Within
they'll just fucking low forward. They'll low forward. And that's a checkmate situation. If you're in the corner and you're in burnout, you're fucking dead. You can't do shit. You can't parry.
I
You can't
also
drive impact back.
really
Like,
like how the chip damage is insane in this game. If you're burned out, dude.
oh, dude, especially with supers.
If you're burned out, let's say I'm playing Ryu and I throw a fireball followed by my level 1 super, bro, that's like a fucking counter hit Shoryuken amount of damage, and you just have to hold that. You know,
I love that.
Like it is genuinely bad to be burnt out, but it's not like you can't fight back. You know, it's not like I just popped a fucking V trigger on you and now you're like in the blender. No, like you can outplay me in burnout. Like,
if you're in the corner and someone's like, I want to drive impact you, and they didn't do it tight, you just neutral jump it or jump out. Like one of those things.
And then you punish me for it, even though I'm like, that's the thing. You would think the people who hate Street Fighter, if you hate Street Fighter 5, you should love Street Fighter 6, because Street Fighter 6 does not have like comeback mechanics, like at all. Like it has literally none.
Just the way that stun works in Street Fighter 6 is completely different, right?
Yeah.
So Street Fighter 5 was a really it was like a teeter-totter, but the teeter-totter would go vertical. Like it would just fucking, if you were like on your back feet and you were getting fucked up, that was it. Like you would get stunned and fuck you, basically, right? Taking the throw, when people say take the throw, it was so much more fucked up in Street Fighter 5 because you get stunned.
Yeah.
The stun just keeps building and building. In Street Fighter 6, you're good, you just get back up again.
Yeah, like
no risk of getting stunned.
I'm fine getting thrown 3 times in a row in Street Fighter 6, but in Street Fighter 5, I'm like fucking grabbing the arcade stick and like jostling it like, oh my fucking god. You know?
Yeah, I'm like spurging, dude. Like,
yeah, but you want to throw me 3 times in Street Fighter 6, that's fine, because I know that. And here's another thing. Again, I think this is the second heaviest neutral footsies Street Fighter ever. Like it's honestly, it might be more neutral based than Street Fighter 4. And people might tear my head off for saying this, but Street Fighter 4's neutral was slow and grindy to get in, which is like, I like that. But at the same time, Street Fighter 6's neutral is far more rewarding. If you whiff a heavy button and I hit low forward drive rush level 3, like you're going to say, damn, I'm not going to whiff these fucking buttons around this guy anymore. This game rewards you so much for being a good player. And another thing, it completely fixed the ranking system. You don't have the retarded PP, BP shit. You don't have fucking, oh, I gotta beat 15 diamonds in a row to get points at Master. It's an MMR system as soon as you hit Master. Like
it's much less of a like insurmountable grind than it was in 5.
Well, dude,
like 5, I didn't like playing ranked in 5.
Yeah,
like,
hold on. You know how like Punk has been the number 1 ranked player for a while. You know who was the number 1 ranked player before him? Daigo. And before him, Tokido. Legitimate like Evo winning champions. In Street Fighter 5, throughout that entire game's life, there was never a point where anyone who's won a major was the rank 1 online player. It was always some fucking online warrior who could play the game 18 hours a day and just ran like basic offense on online scrubs all day and had like a 70% win rate. And then they go play at an event and they don't even make it out of pools. Whereas in Street Fighter 6, literally everyone in the top 10 in Street Fighter 6 places high at events because it's a legitimate MMR system like StarCraft.
The skills are transferable. You're playing the same game.
Yeah. So like, and like it fixed also the online in this game is the best online fighting game I've ever played in my life. I think you're right. I have played 3-bar connection. I will play a 3-bar Wi-Fi connection in Street Fighter 6. I won't even play a Wi-Fi 5-bar connection in Tekken. I won't even play a 4-bar connection in Street Fighter 5. But if you have 3 bars in Wi-Fi in Street Fighter 6, it's legitimately playable.
Street Fighter 5's rollback compared to Street Fighter 6's rollback, they are not the fucking same, dude. Street Fighter 6 is
never had a time in Street Fighter. I've never had a time in Street Fighter 6 where I hit someone, I see them take the hit, and then it rolls back to show me they actually blocked it, and now I gotta like completely rethink what my next button is. I've never had that happen in hundreds of hours of Street Fighter 6. It's never happened once. I think Street Fighter 6 this is why I think this is such the best fighting game ever. Also, it does literally everything to help new players, dude. Like replays, you watch replays, it'll tell you when your opponent's plus. You can learn a matchup so quickly in this game because you just go watch your replay, Black. It'll tell you the frame data of every button as they're pressing it. I played a Rashid. I had a set in casual match against the Rashid. He beat me 30 times. I beat him 20 times. We played a 50 game long set. First off, that shit doesn't happen in like any other game. Just first and foremost, that you don't see that like anywhere else.
I
Second,
love the Battle Hub, by the way.
yes, I do. I spend a lot of my time in Battle. Most of my time spent in this game is World Tour and Battle Hub, believe it or not.
Yeah, love the Battle Hub. A fucking amazing idea.
So, and it's just like, that's another thing about Battle Hub that's so good is I can ask someone. I can be like, hey, this setup you're doing, can I do this, blah, 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 blah. And most of the time they'll respond. It's a pretty chill environment, and it's just like, it's just like a better custom room. And
Yeah, it's great.
but anyway, so this game does everything. It does not hold your hand on the gameplay because, again, there's no comeback. There's no ultra. There's no V trigger. There's no comeback mechanic. But if you want to sit down and learn, you can legitimately, like, I actually think this is the first time I can say confidently that you can make the transition from online warrior to high, like, top level event player just off of what you learn online. Because if you climb the legend leaderboards, you pretty much exclusively play pro players. And if you're consistently beating them there, you'll consistently beat them offline too. This is not like Street Fighter V, where playing it online has 8 frames of input delay, then you play it offline and it has like 4 frames, and it's like a completely different game. Like Ken's fucking dash in Street Fighter V online, literally unreactable. Like, especially when the game was newer. Like, it was like 10 frames to react to. But then offline, you react to it every single time. Like, there was a tier list for offline and online Street Fighter V because it was just that different because of the delay. But Street Fighter 6, we see tournament results consistent with people's online rank, which is a flabbergasting experience. It's just like
Street Fighter 6, like, it's just like the experience of playing it. It's one of the first, I want to say, online fighting games I've played where
feels good.
Like
it feels good. I actually want to play more of it.
And also, like, I will say, like, socially, like, I'm a very anxious person, and playing online has always historically made me very anxious. I don't know what it is. I think it's weird. Playing in the arcade was fine, but like when I'm playing against like faceless
I feel that.
people, it's very difficult for me to play online.
I get more turned up about my online rank sometimes than I do my placements at like Evo.
Dude, yeah.
It's weird. It's hard to explain.
I don't know what it is. Like, and I think it's just because like the fact that nobody else is there, it's just you, right? Like you're just beating yourself up about it.
Yeah, you don't have your friends with you to go like, oh shit, like.
Yeah, like that social element not being there sucks. But like
that's why the
Street Fighter 6. Yeah, Street Fighter 6 has the fucking battle hub. It's a social environment.
You get like I've had multiple times where I've had like 3 people spectating me play like some master player, and it's like, oh, this is getting kind of turned up over here, like.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, also have to point out, World Tour, best single player mode in any fighting game ever. Like,
yeah, it's
also all the mini games in that, like Hado Pizza, is just do DP input, do Hadoken input. The one karate game just teaches you like charge motions. Like, every part of World Tour is designed to ease you into doing things that you would just do regardless.
Yeah.
And it's
a very it's very classic Capcom in how they would like teach the player how to play their games,
Yeah, like World Tour, dude, I'm going to say this as like master rank, like guy who actually goes and like gets out of pools at like fucking major tournaments. I have like 50 hours in World Tour and I enjoyed every fucking hour of it. I actually unironically very much enjoy World Tour, even just from like a roleplay perspective, just playing as a Street Fighter. Like it's just cool. It's just cool.
And it's Metro City too. Like if you not just if you're a fan of Street Fighter, but if you love Final Fight as well, like I do.
That you can spend $60 on this game, never turn it online, play it offline 100%, and feel like you've gotten your money's worth, is something all fighting games from now on need to do.
And also, by the way, this game was $60 when it came out. So was Street Fighter V.
Yeah, exactly.
We have come a long way.
Yeah, and the actual gameplay of this game is so fucking crisp. Now,
Yeah.
I have one major complaint with this game, and that's the music is garbage.
Yeah, it's very bad.
But
It's well,
the jukebox exists, which I unironically like the music in this game more than any other Street Fighter because of the jukebox. Yeah, it's scummy that you got to pay for it. Sure, I agree with that. But at the same time, I personally don't fucking care because it's like $5. You know, for
it's
like,
also you can do drive tickets as well. So you can just do like challenges and shit, and you can actually get it for free.
yeah, and it's just like the fact that I can listen, like for Akuma, I have his Super Turbo theme, his Third Strike theme, his Alpha 2 theme, his 4 theme, his 5 theme, and his 5 stage theme. And it's like, so like even as much as I love the soundtracks of Street Fighter 5 and 4, listening to the same song for the same character for 8 years straight is draining no matter what. But the fact the fact that I can have it rotate between 10 songs, you know, for every character, 10 different songs constantly, is like such a breath of fresh air.
One of the fun things about playing online is like guessing what song you're gonna get. It's like a fucking amazing feature. Like I think Tekken has it now, but Tekken
Yeah, it
7
does.
didn't have it at first. And like I fucking hate Tekken 7's soundtrack. I don't care what anybody says. Like the best
Oh, that's the hottest take so far.
I'm gonna say the best soundtrack for any Tekken game for me was
Tekken
Tekken
5?
5 and Tekken 5 TR. Yes,
Yeah, I knew
dude.
exactly where you were going with that shit. Hold
Dude,
on.
that game had the best presentation.
Hold on. Tekken 5 has a really really good song in it that I just need to put eyes on it since we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Tekken 5 The Devil Within Stage 1 OST.
Oh my god, it's the Jin remix, dude.
Yeah. This his Tekken 3 theme. Man, this was really really good.
This shit goes hard.
This was so fucking good. This is in my music playlist. Like, to this day, I still listen to this.
What is my favorite song in Tekken 5? I mean, like,
The,
Dragon's Nest is
the
amazing.
Cathedral
like,
is really good.
Oh, the Cathedral's so sick. The fucking waterfall stage. The Fight Club stage.
This game's music is really good.
It's like goated.
Ground Zero
It's fucking
Funk?
goated. Ground Zero Funk's incredible, dude. Jinpachi's theme as well.
Yeah, this shit.
Shit goes hard, dude.
Yeah, the finalizer. This song is so good.
And the remixes in DR, dude, were like amazing.
Dude, this really is like peak music right here.
You remember the fucking Stalking Wolves theme in Tekken 5 DR, dude? The wolf stage?
I think I do actually. Isn't that the one where they're outside, like it's like the moonlight area?
Yeah, and the wolves are like walking around in the background. That shit goes so hard, dude. And also Shattered Dreams, that song from Tekken 5 DR. I had that shit in my Mugen, dude. Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. Come on, this is the best.
Yeah, dude. Jukeboxes are so fucking important.
We need them.
I genuinely hope that from now and forever that they are just a standardized feature just forever.
100% agree. It's a big part of the game, dude. Like the music, like it really does a lot for the game, not just the game's identity, but also just playability.
Like when Bison came out, and I had a Street Fighter 4, his Street Fighter 5, and a Street Fighter 2 theme set. And they're so different. Like they're none of them are even in the same genre. So like I'll start a match and you know, I'll get that Street Fighter 2 classic like dun 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 ba 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 ba.
Yeah, with the bell in the background.
You know, or I'll get the Street Fighter 5 like boom 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 boom. And like it makes me want to play him in a different way too. You know?
Dude, really quick. What's your opinion on Street Fighter 5 Bison?
I actually like him. I
thought he was kind of cool.
People, he's a scrub killer. He's a massive scrub killer. If you don't lab him, he is like an insurmountable mountain. But if you do,
I remember.
And I have a bit of a hand raise moment here. I actually played Street Fighter 5 Bison. I
love Bison, dude. Bison was cool in that game. I think my only issue was why did they started getting really stingy with the Psycho Crusher? That's such a cool move, dude.
Yeah.
Like, just let him have it, man. They gave him it back in 6, thankfully. Another reason why 6 is fucking great.
Yeah, so speaking of Street Fighter 6, I love Drive. I love the parry.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm really, like, against is how weak fireballs are, but that's just kind of in the nature of time. Like, they still serve their purpose. They definitely do.
Yeah, to force decisions. That's kind of like You know, and plus with the way that resource works in Street Fighter 6, fireballs have their own place, right? They're supposed to like force management of your resources, right? Like if you can't just block them,
I
you
do
know?
wish they would take more drive meter away. I think every fireball you block should take half of a bar of drive away.
Yeah, I think so too.
It sounds
Yeah.
like a lot, but if you block 2 fireballs, you should just lose a bar of drive
Yeah, you should either have to neutral jump
or
it or
parry it or
parry it.
whatever.
Yeah.
And
You
that's the
know?
other thing, the dynamic that gets added with parry and managing your drive with parry, like, because it costs to go into parry. You can't, and that's another thing. Like, those third strike gods, you'll see those motherfucker parry like 5 times around. But in Street Fighter 6, because parry can either increase your resources or decrease it, and like it just adds another layer of complexity. I think Street Fighter 6 is going to go the way of Street Fighter 3. I think that 15 years from now, people who've played Street Fighter 6 every goddamn day are going to feel like unbeatable gods to people who are just getting into it. Because
Yeah.
it just has so much depth to the mechanics. Like, for example, Rashid is, in my opinion, one of the best characters in Street Fighter 6. Yet he can get eaten alive by DI. But you gotta know, like, that's how in-depth this game is. This game brings back the depth of Street Fighter 3, the variety of options of Street Fighter 4, and the just clean, like, well-builtness of Street Fighter 5, and enhances all of it. Because I'm gonna say another thing, man. Third Strike players want to fucking cut my head off. I think Street Fighter 6 is more complicated than Third Strike, just by virtue of having significantly more mechanics. Like,
Yeah. So the thing with me, dude, is that you're gonna notice a trend with me, I think, like as we go through the rest of these games, is that the thing I appreciate with Street Fighter is when it gets weird. 6 is a very like
it's very by the books, but I think
well, no, actually, I was about to say Street Fighter 6 is kind of weird in like a good
it?
way. I think it kind of is. Yeah.
I
I mean,
think-
like think about it like this, right?
All right.
Stun.
Yeah.
Stun was a
yeah.
big part.
I like the way stun works in this game.
I like it too. That's why I think it's great. Like
You're right. By
like-
Street Fighter standards, this game is weird. It is experimental. Like, this is the first
Which
time
is-
we have 2 like meter resources to actually manage. Like, it feels
Yeah.
like an improvement of the V system.
dude, like
Like drive.
think about it like this, dude. Throwing EX moves does not cost super.
Yeah.
That's like huge. That's never been a fucking thing before. I mean, I guess, well, Street Fighter 4 kind of, I mean, like the super meter
The
and the ultra meter,
ultra,
but you know, not as much as this game though. And the fact that your EX moves are tied to drive parry and drive rush and drive
your
impact
defensive resources, like
and offensive, like they're in this weird drive meter, and I think it's so cool.
Remember that garbage bullshit system Mortal Kombat 11 had, where you had 2 bars for defense and 2 bars for offense?
Oh, I
And-
hated that, and
yeah.
how like you're getting comboed and they would twirl out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish that it just fucking
It's
did the
like
breakers.
Street Fighter 6 learned from its contemporaries, because it's got a defensive bar and an offensive bar, yet it also fuses them oftentimes. Like
Yeah.
most characters, level 2 is an install that just makes them better.
And also, I want to say, the fact that characters have 3 supers again that all do different
thank
things.
God. Yeah,
Thank
that's another thing.
Fucking
just
God.
Just like Third Strike, but instead of making it so you have to pick, so there's always one dominant one, you get access to all 3 at the same time, which I think Third Strike would be a better game if every character had access to all their supers.
It's actually it's closer to like the alpha games. In
Yeah,
the fact that
yeah,
like
with
everybody's
the-
got
yeah.
multiple supers that they can access at any time.
But you see what I'm saying, though? It's like they took the most beloved features of each Street Fighter. What did people love the most about Street Fighter 4? The freedom to do like all the option selects. They loved the ability to have 15 different combos. Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's give them that in the form of FADC, in the form of Drive Rush.
Yeah.
That expands all the characters' options in every situation. What did people love about playing Third Strike? They loved the mind games around parry. They loved how rewarding the neutral game was. Okay, so let's combine the freeformness of Street Fighter 4 with the rewarding neutral and parry of Third Strike to give you universal defense.
Yeah.
What did people love about Alpha? Oh, they loved all the options you could pick from. They loved everyone having a bajillion supers. They loved freeform combos with the isms. Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's throw that in too. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's literally like they said, this is what people loved about each of these games. Let's throw those mechanics into one game and see what happens. And
And I
holy
agree
fuck,
with
it
that.
came out so well.
And I agree with that too. But they were smart about it as well, right?
Yeah,
Like
they
didn't
didn't
just throw
just
them
copy
in there.
paste it. Yeah.
Yeah, like they got creative.
Because
Dude,
another thing, Drive Rush is also a lot like the one ism in like Alpha 3 where you can just like make your own combo.
Theism.
Yeah, Vism.
Well, I'll talk about that in a minute.
It's a lot like that because you can do literally anything off of Drive and it's going to work, but it's limited in that you can only do like 2 hits at most, really. So it doesn't.
It also
it doesn't
makes
get
you
too crazy.
plus as well, which is very interesting.
It's another thing. That's another whole level of depth to this game that no other Street Fighter has. Not only does Drive Rush make your moves better, it makes them better on block. So now you got to know every character what they can do Drive Rush on block. And that's a whole nother thing. Like there is so much depth to this game that
The mix-ups are very layered because of it, right? So like if I were to drive rush in with Ryu, right, and do like standing medium punch, like I could either it's a throw strike mix-up. I could either do another medium punch and I'm plus, and then we're back to
or
it,
you could frame
or I
trap
could just
or you could frame trap them with heavy Hashogi
yeah,
into another frame trap throw mix up, and it's like
or you can throw. You could just throw
you just
after the
have you
medium.
just have so many fucking options, and they didn't skimp out on the defense options either. Drive reversal, just raw DI to absorb a hit if you think they're gonna go for like solar plexus meaty wake up. Like,
Yeah.
you have so many defensive options in this game that, sure, it's offense-sided, but I don't feel like I'm just helplessly getting mauled. And I think there is a reason why this game has double the players of Tekken 8. This game has more people playing it consecutively than just about all the other fighting games you can name put together right now. And I think there's a huge reason for that. Like, I really...
Capcom is truly in... They're kind of with Street Fighter 6 at least, they definitely are having a bit of a glow up.
I just hope they don't ruin it with DLC. That's literally all I ask for. Don't do a Tekken, don't pull a Tekken 7.
Don't get greedy,
don't
guys.
Don't have 3 seasons. I mean, if you want to, they're already greedy with the price of some of the stuff. Like, costumes are a little more expensive, but
yeah, actually, you're right.
Honestly, I don't mind it too much because the game is good. If they did this shit with Street Fighter 4 or 5, I'd be like, okay, guys, this is fucking stupid. But like, I feel like this is Capcom trying to say, look, we can make a game that everyone loves and plays and is successful, and it could also be a big financial success. Because look at Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 1 is like one of the most financially successful fighting games of all time, but it's one of the worst fighting games of all time.
It fucking blows.
No one wants to play it. Nobody wants to fucking play it. So it's almost like this is their way of posing the question, what if we make the best fighting game of all time, but we're a little dickish with the monetization so we can try to also make it the most profitable? What if this is just a conspiracy theory on my part, but it would just be the perfect icing to the Street Fighter 6 cake that this is Street Fighter 4 2.0 in terms of legacy, and that it shows that if you will make more money if the game is the best in its franchise and is a little bit greedy. Because Mortal Kombat 1 is more greedy than this game. Yet it fucking sucks.
And way less value too. Yeah, there's like way less value in it. Like the thing is, dude, is this really highlights an interesting thing that happened when Street Fighter 5 came out. And there were some apologists that were like, dude, it's not that bad. It's all right. Like, it's just play it, man. And it's like the game is literally unfinished. Like, it's not a finished game. We're basically playing a fucking beta right now.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen with 6, and it just launched again. Complete. It kind of poses the question. It's like if you just sit there and finish the Street Fighter game.
Yeah, because
Street Fighter 4
wasn't
profitable.
exactly finished when it came out either. Like, I'm literally praying to God that we are living in the world where Street Fighter 6 becomes the most profitable fighting game, at least of the modern generation, and everyone looks at that and says, okay, we need to be more like this.
Yeah,
Imagine
it's
a
setting a
world
good example.
Imagine
Yeah.
a world where Mortal Kombat takes after Street Fighter 6 and Tekken takes after Street Fighter 6, cuz Tekken 8 is not in a
dude.
very good spot right now either. Like,
Yeah, that's a oh man.
you
Yeah,
know,
that's an interesting
and
that's in an interesting place right now.
yeah, Tekken 7 launch. Tekken 7 is to Street Fighter 5 as Street Fighter 6 is to Tekken 8. You
Yeah.
know? And it's just like, I really hope this becomes, and I mean, so far it looks to be the case. Tekken 7 averages like 6,000 people playing it daily consecutively. Street Fighter 6 averages like 20,000. Like,
Yeah.
this is the most popular fighting game of all time. Yes, I know Street Fighter 2 is the most sold, but again, it's only the most sold because there's 50 million fucking copies of it, you know? Like,
And also just think proportionality, right? Like video games are in a much different place than they were in 1991, you know?
yeah,
Like it
the
everybody
fact-
has a fucking PlayStation now.
the
you know?
fact that at any time of day, on any day of the week, in any region of the world, at any ranked bracket, you can click casual or ranked and be in a match playing within 3 seconds is like, dude, if you would have told me that 10 years ago that's where fighting games would be, I would tell you're full of shit.
That's like science fiction shit.
Yeah.
Not even kidding. Like it's actually science fiction. Like what?
And
What?
it-
That's,
and-
you can touch the screen.
And
like
it is
it's-
all because of this game right here. And I just fingers crossed that Capcom carries that momentum throughout its life. And because like we're currently in another golden age of fighting games. There's great,
Yeah.
you got Guilty Gear Strive, Tekken 8 for all of its faults is way better than Tag 2. You know, fucking
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 is like the peak. Like Tekken 8 is like top 3 Tekkens of all time. Guilty Gear Strive is the best Guilty Gear. Street Fighter 6 is the best Street Fighter. You know, like we are in such a good era for fighting games right now that
And plus, dude, like I think of it like this too. We saw what's going on with that fucking the Capcom Versus collection coming out,
yeah, people
which
are
is
getting
like-
hyped for Marvel again. Like,
which is
dude,
like crazy because like
we're living in a world where Marvel versus Capcom 3 is coming back. Like, how fucking crazy is that?
dude, and part of it is because I kind of have an inkling, dude, that Marvel saw, oh shit,
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 is kind of making some waves, dude. People are actually playing this game.
This
Hey
game's making a
Capcom,
lot of money. Yeah.
you can take the X-Men again. You can do some stuff with that, and we'll see what happens. You know, like they're even
Yeah.
raising
Hey,
an
dude,
eyebrow and going,
I got
hey,
my pre-order in. You know, I got the fucking
Yeah.
dude, playing Marvel 3 with rollback?
It's a possibility.
Do you guys know the only reason Marvel 3 isn't cemented in most of your heads as an S tier legendary game is the fact that it has perhaps the worst online of any fighting game maybe ever?
oh yeah, it's really fucking bad.
It
dude.
is literally unplayable.
It's one of the worst online experiences I think you could have playing a game right next to
Seriously.
Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Like, dude,
Like-
seriously, the online experience in Marvel 3 is so fucking trash tier garbage shit that like you couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me to play it. It's that bad.
Yeah, I can't believe some people are actually like. Sometimes I watch like older Maximilian videos and like I see his rank and I'm like, how the fuck did you put up with this much UMVC3 multiplayer? How did you do that?
Yeah.
What the fuck? The fortitude on this man.
Yeah,
How did
I mean,
you
we,
do
we were
that?
just different back then because it's like, yeah, it's just how it was, you know?
That's all we had. You know? I mean, dude, he was playing like CVS2 online on the original Xbox,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
Like, and he was like going through replays and shit. Like, that was some. That's truly like.
It's funny. The guy that
I
was
have fire and stick.
the guy that was in here before, Mock. So he was telling you how Street Fighter 6 is his first fighting game, and he always is awing, like, because you know, he sees my anti-airs, for example, like how I DP. Even when he watches me play like a 1700 MR Master, I'll anti-air, like I'll DP 9 out of 10 jumps, and he's like, I literally can't do this once. How the fuck are you doing this? I'm like, you know, when you spent 20 years growing up with shit like Third Strike Online and CVS2 Online, you know, you get. This is nothing. You know, this is actually smooth and responsive. Like, I do the DP and it just happens and it hits them. Whereas trying to do that shit on a 4-bar connection in Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, like, you're fucking lucky, you know?
Yeah, it's probably part of the reason why I lost my hair. Like, that's just the
Yeah.
fucking way it is, dude.
Yeah,
Like that shit made me start malding. It was
yeah,
fucked
it's
up, dude.
but yeah, I genuinely think Street Fighter 6 is currently starting another golden age of fighting games and is basically Street Fighter 4 for the new generation. Like,
Yeah, it's a very good game, and I'm really happy with it. And it's really nice to know because like we've been playing Street Fighter like pretty much all of our lives, and like it's good to see that Street Fighter is in a good spot. When Street Fighter is in a good spot, fighting games are usually in a good spot.
dude, if your tier list looks like this, like it's hard to disagree.
Yeah,
Especially like this, because this is probably the most common tier list that people would have.
yeah, it's kind of like it does kind of look like that. I would say like I think like 5 and 4 and 6 and Third Strike and maybe
Like
another
these are all
game.
these are like the Call of Duty of fighting games. It's hard to say they're really like bad, you know?
Yeah, no, they're all good. I mean, unless you count fucking Capcom Fighting Jam, which is basically a shittier Mugen. Um, I wonder if we could, dude. Like, I wonder if we could fucking talk about Mugen at some point. Shit, dude, I was
Okay,
down in that
now
rabbit hole.
there's a few of these. I want to talk about these in order that I know about them.
Let's talk about HD,
HD,
Super Street
okay.
Fighter 2 HD. Let's
All
talk
right.
about that.
Okay, this game is interesting because to some people this game is up here. To some people this game is down here.
Yeah, it depends on who you talk to.
I'm somewhere in the middle. I kind of feel like it's on the same level as Super Turbo because it's just different.
Yeah,
It's on the same level, if not a little bit worse, because
it's
it's more balanced Super Turbo.
yeah. That's the craziest thing about this game was that I forget who the fuck was it that rebalanced it.
There was I don't remember, but
forget what the guy's
he didn't
name
do a
is.
super good job with Akuma. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, his whole
He
goal
wanted
was to
Akuma
make
to
it
be
so
a tournament viable, and
yeah,
then there was
balanced character.
there was that one guy who was like, this character's still unbalanced, and he went on a tear, winning like 5 tournaments in a row, and then Akuma got banned everywhere, and we haven't heard from him since.
Yeah, like HD is a crazy game because like
It doesn't even play like Street Fighter 2 for like a lot of the time. It's like
it's its own thing.
yeah,
It's just its own thing. It's like it is when it
is a
says
remix,
HD
yeah.
remix,
it's not lying.
it's literal. It is actually a remix.
Yeah, things
It-
like Violent Ken and like Evil Ryu, like they're cool, like whatever,
Dude, but the fact that Violent Ken was in Ultra Street Fighter 2.
It's
I remember watching fucking Jeff the Hero play that game and just go on a tear with Violent Ken.
I will say this does feel like appreciative love letter to Street Fighter 2. This does not feel like a soulish cash grab.
Yeah,
And-
it was. I mean, dude, you got the redone sprites by Udon, and the OC remix. All the songs, the new songs are from OC remix, so they're fan made.
Yeah, like this
Like-
game, there was care put into this. Like the online is fucking functional. It doesn't suck.
It was a
Like
very interesting time. Like this was a time where Xbox Live Arcade was really getting some interesting stuff. I mean, UMK3 was on fucking Xbox Live Arcade at the time. People swear by that version of the game. They say that the fucking collection sucks and that the original UMK3 on Xbox Live Arcade is way better. And
But,
I'm like, what?
yeah, Akuma being broken still is a little bit of a problem because now he's online selectable, so that's kind of fucking shitty. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I enjoyed my time with it.
I was really excited for this game when they announced it when I was just a wee lad and seeing it on event hubs and shit. Like, that was like, this was a really cool game to see. And I was way into the Udon comics as a kid as well. So that was really cool to see that it was going to be an official game. Ooh, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Okay,
All right. Okay.
before you put it
I've
somewhere.
got some opinions on this game.
Me too. Me too. Like so Street Fighter Cross Tekken is maybe the most Yoshinori Ono game
Yeah.
of any of them.
Now,
My God, he
where-
was trolling
where-
everybody.
Where I will place this game is going to rile up some feathers.
Well, I'm going to say this. The state that it is in now, like the complete Street Fighter Cross Tekken, is quite good.
Let's see. I'll tell you this right now. It is either the top of B tier.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to mentally see if I can put it above Super Turbo. You know what?
It's a different
what?
kind of game.
You know what? If I had to play one of these two games.
I agree.
I think
Yeah,
I would.
I think so.
I think I would rather play
I
Cross
think
Tekken
you're right. I think you're
because,
right.
like right now, if I had to turn the game on, because Super Turbo, for all its glory, is a little fucked up. It's a little fucked up, and
Yeah.
Cross Tekken is very misunderstood. The gem system is not bad. It is a bad system because it was a microtransaction pay to win
Yeah.
system. Once you
This game,
assuming you have all the gems, if we just assume you have all the gems, then this game is not bad. There is some
Yeah.
fucked up stuff like the infinites. Those are fucked up, but if you ban those, then this
they did a title update for this game. I want to say a year after it came out, which, honest to fucking God, made the game like
way
actually
better.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Way fucking better. Like they reworked so much stuff and rethought so many mechanics. People have a hate boner for Street Fighter Cross Tekken because it's kind of a fucking meme. It's just like a meme, right? Like people have just like parroted it and they're like, "Oh yeah, at least we're not playing Street Fighter Cross Tekken." But it's like, actually though,
Yeah,
if you sit
like
down and play it,
it's not bad. And
it's got a
being
lot of
being
content.
able to play with your friend and tag into each other, like why do tag games not just always do that?
I used to play that
I
game
played this
online
game
with my
ranked.
friend.
I played this game ranked with a buddy from locals.
Yeah, see, that's fun.
Yeah, it's a ton
That's a
of fun.
lot of
It's
fun.
so much fun.
And their strategy, like, dude, this game has a huge roster too. Can we talk about that for a
Yeah,
second?
dude,
The fucking
it's
roster
like
is
30
huge.
characters from Tekken, 30 characters from Street Fighter, and you can mix and match them in either way.
It
Like,
has a fucking that makes it a bigger fucking roster than Marvel 2, which has 56 characters.
it
Like,
is. Yeah, it's really big.
and it's really cool to see how these Tekken characters play in
A 2D setting.
2D.
I would
There's
love.
some
I would
weird
love to
shit,
see how the
dude.
Street Fighter characters play in 3D. Like that's what this
Oh
game makes me
man.
want.
Yeah, like for anybody who's seen the like leaked prototype footage of Tekken Cross Street Fighter, like the little bit that they have, um that shit was gonna be fucking cool. Instead we got Akuma in Tekken 7 and he ran a train on everybody, but
Hey man,
um
I like Akuma in Tekken 7.
I like it too. I thought it was fucking
honest
amazing.
to God wish that Tekken I wish Capcom and Bandai could come to an agreement where Akuma was a permanent Tekken character from now on, and like Heihachi was a permanent Street Fighter character from now on.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like I would be totally fine with that. I'm so down for that collaboration. Like when Street Fighter Cross Tekken got announced, that was one of the coolest fucking ideas. And the cinematic trailers were amazing. Even the music in Cross Tekken is quite good.
I like the
It's a very
intro
good
theme, yeah.
game. It's fun. It was the first time we got to see Rolento again. Like a lot of characters that they put in Ultra were just taken from this. Like Elena
That's
was
true, yeah.
Elena was taken from Cross Tekken. Rolento was taken. But let's not mince words here. Cross Tekken was fucked when it came out.
Oh,
In
yeah.
fact, Cross Tekken, the reason it's such a meme and people like love to hate on it, even though they
On-disc
know nothing
DLC,
about it,
Yeah.
it's the on-disc DLC. This game was doing something that people hated back then, but is now common practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
This game shot itself in the foot.
Yeah,
And
ask people, hey, if someone tells you this game is bad, ask them why without using the words microtransactions and DLC. And you'll find more often than not, they just draw a blank. They couldn't tell you anything about it.
because they haven't played it. A lot of people just haven't
Let me
fucking
add one
played
more
it.
thing. Without using the words infinite, gem, or DLC, explain to me why this game is supposedly so bad. Oh, you fucking can't. Okay.
There was a lot of fucked up shit in this game when it first came out, especially like the fact that Rolento could crash the game.
Yeah.
Like he could throw a dagger at a fireball and the game would just crash. Like this game it definitely didn't have enough time in the oven. And again, this is a very Ono thing because it would not be the last time that he would shoot a fucking game in the foot.
This
Dude,
game.
I don't think I've never fucking
I've
played
this.
that.
I have played this game.
That's a single player game, right?
Yes, it's Mega Man. It's Mega Man, but the bosses are replaced with Street Fighter characters.
That's cool.
And the special moves, the selectable moves, are just Street Fighter moves.
Love it. Yeah.
So
Is it good?
it's all right.
It's fun.
Like-
Does it go anywhere in this list? I feel like it should be
It's-
down in Street Fighter 1 because it's just a different game.
Yeah. Honestly, this game is not the same genre. Yeah, hold on. Where's Puzzle Fighter?
That's a fucking good question because
Puzzle
that's an
Fighter's
amazing
actually
game.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, that's an amazing game.
Puzzle Fighter 2 would be like top of A tier for me. Like it's up
I
there.
agree.
Like I fuck with Puzzle Fighter 2 on the DS. Like you
I also really like Super Gem Fighter Mini Mix. That game is fun too.
uh
Uh,
this game is it's all right. Like it's not good, but it's all right.
it's impressive that they put Street Fighter 4 on the 3DS like that.
I liked
I mean,
playing
that's kind of a feat.
I liked playing it on my DS in the back of mom's car.
I liked playing Guile in it.
Yeah, like other than that though, it's kind of bad. Like
You could just do Sonic Boom
without
with the
charge.
touch.
Yeah, yeah.
It was fucking fucked up, dude. But it was it's very novel and honestly impressive. It's basically a demake of Street Fighter 4. It's like pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's a very interesting technical thing.
Yeah, I gotta give it credit where credit is due. I mean, obviously it's fucking better than 5. Like, come on, easy. I would rather play that. Okay, is this the oh, this is the arcade version?
This game is not good, dude.
The arcade version is fucked.
This game is fucking foul. I don't
However,
like this
it does have Slam Master throws.
game. Dude, this game
That's-
is foul. Fuck this game.
This is a top of Kusoge. This is like
Dude.
as Kusoge as it gets.
This game is fucked up, man.
I like the sound that plays when you put in a credit. That's the best part of the game.
Wait.
Now,
this is-
I'm gonna say that the Saturn version, honestly, dude, you might as well just put it right next to Super Turbo because it's the same game.
Yeah.
I swear to God, like it's literally just it. They remade it. Incredible Technologies, I think, was the company. They remade it to just play like Super Turbo. That's it. Oh no, we got to do Alpha 1 first.
Oh, okay. All right. Where is
Alpha 1 sucks.
Really? I'll be honest, this is one Street Fighter game I haven't even touched.
Alpha 1, when it came out, was probably amazing. But it kind of sits in the same spot that Street Fighter 4 Vanilla does, right? It's not finished. There's Infamous, there's Redizzies. Guy is the best character in the game. Dan looks fucking weird. I don't know. It also feels like shit to play. It feels floaty and slow and kind of clunky. It's actually really insane how much better Alpha 2 is.
Yeah, I was just about to say this.
Grab
game,
Alpha 2 and put it in the S tier. I shit you not.
Okay, hold on. From what I've played of Alpha 2, it's a lot of fun.
It's very good.
And from what I know, from what I've watched and what I've personally experienced, I can definitely see it being an S tier game.
This is an iconic Street Fighter game. Like Street Fighter 2, yeah, sure, right? Like it's iconic, but like Alpha 2 though? All the motifs, all the stylistic things that Alpha 2 did have stuck around to this day.
Yeah, that is
Right.
true.
Like,
Mechanics introduced in this game would end up becoming mainstream mechanics later down the line.
yeah, like alpha counters, right? Like alpha counters, it's basically V reversal, it's basically drive reversal. Like, it's a universal defensive option in every game. Now, I'm going to say Alpha 2 can be a pretty fucked up game at some times, right? There's this thing called VIACC,
Where it's all guaranteed hit.
guaranteed. And with some characters, it's really fucked up. With some characters, it's even more fucked up than that. There's characters like Rolento that can, you know how Rolento has a command jump? You
Yes,
press down up
yes,
and then
yes.
he jumps across the screen. He has a thing where he can VIACC you, sweep, cancel into his command jump, and piano press the kicks. And
Oh,
it does
God.
like 80%. I think that's if he has a full meter. Now, Alpha 2 is a fucked up game in that kind of way, but the way that it's fucked up is not quite as bad as Alpha 3. I will talk about that in a minute. But
I know a little bit more about Alpha 3. I know that one's not as good as Alpha 2.
well, it depends on who you talk to, right? The Japanese will say that Alpha 3 is way better.
Interesting.
A lot of arcades in the US actually would probably say that Alpha 3 is better. But FFA, the West Coast, like
Alright.
FFA, Super Arcade,
Oh,
even
dude,
fucking-
Super Arcade.
yeah, Super Arcade, that's where Wednesday Night Fights
yeah,
was,
yeah.
dude. And like fucking Japan Arcade and Little Tokyo, all those places would tell you they preferred Alpha 2. A lot of the legends on the West Coast really got their start with Alpha 2, right? Like Alex Valle, John Choi,
Yeah, I mean
right?
that is where Alex Valle got his name. Like everybody, he was a nobody before that. Well, not a
Yeah,
nobody, but like you know what I mean. He was
he
like,
was making waves. Before that, it was
yeah.
like people like fucking Mike Watson and
Oh my God! You just hit me with a blast from the past, dude. Mike fucking Watson.
everybody who worked at FFA will tell you that Mike Watson was a fucking piece of shit because Super Arcade, Japan Arcade, and Family Fun Arcade were owned by the same person, this guy named Ralph. And everybody will tell you the same thing. Mike Watson is a piece of
Dude,
fucking trash.
Eris will occasionally make fun of Mike Watson on his stream to this day.
Yeah.
He'll see someone like Trevor in GTA and he'll be like, "Damn, Mike Watson?" Yeah, yeah. He's still like people still hate this dude to this day.
And there's a documentary called, funnily enough, it's called Bang the Machine, that they used to show at Evo. They would screen it because a lot of the tapes, apparently this was being edited and mastered in New York City at a studio right across the street
Hey, this is my
from the
territory.
World Trade Center.
Oh my God, dude. Now you're on my territory here.
Yeah, dude, they were fucking mixing and mastering and editing that shit at a place right across from the World Trade Center. And dude, this was a documentary. It was like a late 90s Battle by the Bay era documentary.
Yeah.
And I think like they lost a lot of the original like negatives and
I
shit
do
for it.
remember hearing about this.
But even in this documentary, Mike Watson was a piece of shit back then. He's like a villain in this. He's like fucking Billy Mitchell. He's a piece of shit, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Anyway.
Everyone, I can confirm. Even here on the East Coast, you would have people talk about how big of a piece of shit this guy is.
Yeah, Mike Watson was a fucking
Let's put it
real
this way:
character.
everyone I have met in person at events like NLBC or whatever the fuck, if this guy comes up, everyone who would fly out. Like, do you guys remember MVC2, the East Coast West Coast rivalry? Mike Ross coming over
huge.
Mike Ross coming over here to play Justin Wong. Like, I can tell you that when people, like, every time one of our boys came back from the West Coast, they would say, "Bro, this guy Mike Watson, fuck this guy."
This guy is an
I-
asshole,
This
dude.
dude, before the age of the internet, somehow had a universal reputation from East Coast to West Coast as the biggest piece of shit.
And let me tell you, dude, when he fucking bought Super Arcade, when Ralph retired and he basically handed the keys over to Mike Watson to own Super Arcade, nobody fucking cried or was surprised when Mike Watson ran it into the fucking ground. It's the reason why Wednesday Night Fights is at the Anaheim Convention Center now.
Yeah. Thank God for Alex Valle.
Yeah, the fucking Uncle Valle, dude. Shout out to Uncle
Save
Valle.
the fucking scene, man.
Yeah, he's
I mean, to be fair,
he's
the
the
West
shit.
Coast still hasn't recovered from Mike Watson. Now the East Coast is where it's all at.
dude. I'm telling you, man.
NLBC
Like,
is the new Wednesday Night Fights. Like,
I live in the San Fernando Valley in California, right?
Mhm.
And FFA used to be out here, and it used to literally be like 3 blocks away from my house. I would ride my bike there every fucking day to go play Third Strike and CVS2, right? And now that it's gone, it then became Super Arcade, and Super Arcade was all the way out in Walnut, right? Which is like a fucking distance. Everything's really spread out over here.
Mhm.
And then when that got run into the ground,
It's like what?
there's like
what,
one
yeah.
place now. There's like one place. It's Barcode all the way out in Garden Grove. I fucking hate going to Orange County. It sucks. I hate
Yeah.
it.
But
Anyway.
so, like, what I find so interesting is how for the longest time the West Coast was where it was at. If you were a serious Street Fighter player in America, you had to go to the West Coast. That's where all the action was. But around
Even Japanese players, dude.
yeah,
they
they
went.
would fly in for like Wednesday Night Fights every now and then to compete. Like if,
Yeah,
if they
and-
wanted to test themselves, they would take a trip here, enjoy the California beaches, and go kick it with fucking Super Arcade.
Yeah. Daigo came to FFA one time, apparently. Like that's kind of crazy. That's like fucking. That's like holy ground. Now it's a discount pool mart. It sucks. Owned in like
Yeah,
by
now,
Koreans.
nowadays all those players fly out to my side of the pond for NLBC. And it's like it's just so weird how things have changed because of this fucking guy, Mike Watson. Like if it wasn't for him, the trajectory of fighting games would be different.
Yeah, like we might actually have like multiple places to like have tournaments out here, and now it's just everybody has to drive halfway Like people have to. I have to drive. Like to put it into perspective, to get to Garden Grove on like a good day takes 2.5 hours from where I'm living. It's fucked up. And on a bad day, which is, I mean, dude, I live in LA. The fucking
Yeah, it's
traffic here
always
is
a bad day.
legendary,
Yeah.
dude. Like it. At one time, it took me, I shit you not, 4.5 hours to get to Garden Grove just to fucking play Third Strike and get whooped. Okay, like it was fucked up.
God
All
damn,
right.
that's crazy.
Yeah, Mike Watson, fuck you.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're watching this,
Which good dude, you
die
think that guy gives a fuck anymore? He's like, fuck that. He's smoking his cigars all the way to the bank.
until he hopefully gets cancer. Anyway, not
Damn.
to wish death threats on people. I know you don't need that in your
Hey
videos.
man, I look man, this is a fighting game community video, all
Unless we're
right?
talking
This
about
is
the Dark Tide community.
Bro, listen man,
Hey.
this is an FGC video. Things are a little different here, all right? You know?
Yeah.
All right, this video is about as FGC as it's gonna get. You know, no
Yeah.
editing. It's like 3 fucking hours long.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're from the West Coast though, to get the West Coast East Coast perspective,
It
because
is, yeah.
too many of these videos will just have like three guys who grew up in Super Arcade, and it's like, well, you know, okay.
Yeah, they don't know how, like they don't know what it's fucking like, like they had it really good. I mean, they also had Southern Hills Golf Land and shit.
Oh
Like,
my fuck! I've actually been there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
yeah. Like they had all that shit, like that's where Harris
Yeah,
went.
whereas over here we had Jack Diddley Squat. We had shit for
Yeah.
the longest time, dude.
It was like Chinatown Fair. That was like the big one.
Being an East Coast fighting game player. Thank God I'm in PA, and I'm on the New York side of PA, so it's only
Yeah.
like an hour or two away for NLBC. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's fucking awesome. That's
so
amazing.
that's like thank God for that. And second off, Pittsburgh actually had a pretty decent arcade scene for a time. There was a local mall near me. It's decommissioned now. It was like the I'm trying to remember the name. I almost just listed off the name of the mall in Dead Rising.
We'll laugh.
But no, it was just a giant ass mall. Seriously, the building is worth. The guy's trying to sell it. He's selling it for like $2 billion. Like it is fucking.
Holy fuck.
The building is huge. It's like a mile or two of just mall, and this place is massive. And it had an arcade, and that's where my dad, his parents would drop him off, and they would just be like, "All right, go have fun." Dude, it would take you like an hour to walk from one side of this mall to the other. And there were multiple arcades in this mall. There were people that played Street Fighter on one half of the mall. That there was 2 arcades in this mall that had a bunch of Street Fighter machines. And in one of these places, you were not allowed to throw people. Like in Super Turbo, no throws.
Dude, that was
no
I
throws.
I commented on one of your videos where I was like, dude, this is just like when people would literally get into fights if you threw them back in the Super Turbo thing.
I remember responding to that comment. I said, shut the fuck up. People like hardly would do that shit because it's not as common. Like, okay, look. And I mentioned this in an older video. Sometimes there used to be a gentleman's agreement not to throw specifically in Super Turbo because you couldn't tech a throw. So it was kind of fucked up.
You take a lot of damage by taking a throw.
Especially if you don't mash out. And it's like, so one half of the mall was like no throws. The other half was like do whatever. And I'm so happy I grew up in the other half that was like do whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
Dude, people, now this is what would cause fights, is these arcades, they would hold tournaments. They would be like, okay, we are going to come together, pool the prize money, and winner take all. Oh man, when you have an arcade that says no throws allowed and an arcade that says throws are allowed, oh my
Fights
God.
are breaking out,
yeah,
dude.
that's where
It's
fights
war.
would start. Especially
Dude.
if it was like $100 prize in the pot. Fuck, man,
That was like winning $1 million.
Yeah, that's where tempers would flare up.
I miss arcades so fucking much. I miss like old school like LAN centers too. Like I miss that shit as well. Like arcades. I just love arcades, man. I fucking love arcades, and I miss them so goddamn much. Okay, so Alpha 2 is very fucking good. We preferred it at FFA on the West Coast. Like that was our game. Um, it has an amazing roster, amazing music. Alpha 3, I want to say some people talk a lot of shit about Alpha 3, but it seems like a lot of people like it. I do have some gripes with it, but I'm not gonna lie, dude. I've got some nostalgia goggles for this game. This was the first fighting game I ever played. Shit you not. Okay, so I'm gonna say that it goes right next to 2. Interchangeable.
Really?
You can put 2 in the front, you can put 3 in the front. Doesn't matter, right? I love Third Strike. I played it a lot at FFA, but I gotta say, dude, Alpha 2 and Alpha 3, kind of like goated games.
It's funny because Third Strike was actually my first fighting game.
Yeah, dude, like it's crazy, right? Like I remember back in the day, 4 years old. I mean, the first game I ever, okay, actually, no, I lied. The first game I ever played was Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the PlayStation 1. Um, the other game I played, the first Street Fighter I played was Alpha 3, and it was like back and forth between those two, right? And Alpha 3, just everything about it, man. I get the fucking warm fuzzies, dude, thinking about Alpha 3. Just the music, which is incredible, by the way. The soundtrack for Alpha 3 is amazing and huge. The way that the stages look, just the overall vibe of the game and how energetic it is, the announcer, the fucking roster, the isms, like all that shit just is like, it's incredible, right? Like the fact that you can play every character in 3 different ways, even though, one of them is the
The
clearly the
best,
best,
yeah.
but we'll talk about that in a second. But um, it's a fucking goated game, and it's a weird game. Remember when I said like the trend with me is that I really like it when Street Fighter gets weird?
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck, dude. One of the reasons that people like Alpha 2 more than Alpha 3 is because it's more quote unquote traditional. You jump at me, I DP you, you go on the ground. That's it. All right? In Alpha 3,
You can do some
you jump
crazy
at
shit,
me,
yeah.
you jump at me, I DP you, and you tech in the fucking air?
Yeah.
That's like mind fucking blown, dude. My mind was just blown. What the fuck just happened? How do combos work in this game? It recontextualizes everything. Imagine if somebody could do that in 6. If you jumped at somebody and you fucking did like Bison's like jumping medium punch
I was
like
literally
air
just
target
thinking
combo
that,
thing.
yeah.
Like if you did that and then they just teched out of it in the air like it's Marvel? What the fuck, dude? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like that game, Alpha 3 is very fucking weird. I mean, you have air guard, right? Like air blocking,
Mm-hmm.
but man, dude, Alpha 3's got some fucking sauce, all right? Let me tell you, Alpha 3 has the fucking guard meter,
Oh, yeah.
which is incredible. It's honestly like I said, right? We were talking about Street Fighter 6. Yeah, man. They just took it straight from Alpha 3. Except in Alpha 3, it's even more fucked up. If you get your guard broken, your guard meter is smaller for the entire round.
Mm.
In fact, if it keeps
Yeah, that
happening,
is right.
you can get yourself into a fucked up situation where you get into a guard crush string and it gets even smaller than that until it's basically it's literally like 20% of its original size. And then like you basically lost the round at that fucking point. But let's talk about isms, right?
Mm-hmm. I know a good bit about
Aism,
these.
Aism's got the partition supers. That's great. Daigo said in that one FGC translated video, if everybody could just read the room and pick Aism, nobody would complain about Alpha 3. Everybody would love it. But that's the problem, is that everybody wants to win, so they pick Vism. Now, I'll tell you why nobody picks Xism. Because you can't block in the air. There's no air block. The whole thing with Xism is that if you want to play the game like Super Turbo, you can play the game like fucking Super Turbo. Here, have Xism, right? And you have CPS1 chains. Like it's fucking weird, dude. You got CPS1 chains, you've got a one big super. In some cases, you have different special moves in Xism, right? Ryu's fireballs look like Super Turbo in Xism. It's kind of fucking cool. Very cool, actually. It's just there's no reason to pick it because you can't air tech and you can't air block. So if somebody DPs you when you try to jump out of the corner, they have a true juggle on you that you can't get out of. So there's that.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
It's fucked up. But the real fucked up part about Alpha 3, as cool as it is Vism, right? And Vism is interesting because it doesn't function like Ganejin. It doesn't function like A Groove from CVS2. It functions like its own thing. Depending on the power of the button you press, you get a different shadow that follows you. You have one that follows very closely, where it attacks right after you, one that attacks with like a half-second delay, and one that attacks with a full second delay. So you have different Vism juggles that you're trying to do depending on the shadow that you do. And in some cases you have true guard crush block strings. Um, and like really just grimy mix-ups. I will say Alpha 3 is probably the game where throws are the weakest. They are very shitty in that game. Um, Mainly because of, the guard meter and the fact that you can just air guard. And throws just don't give a lot of reward, but the biggest issue with Alpha 3 and Vism, the reason people fucking hate Vism, right, is because of the crouch cancel infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
Alpha 2, I was saying, right? Alpha 2 is a fucked up game because you could get some characters have custom combos that can just take 80% of your life, right? That's okay. At least if you're going to kill me, do it quickly. Okay? Please do it quickly. Alpha 3, rounds last a fucking while, dude. Another thing that people don't know about Vism is that you actually do less damage in it. You do less damage. Your damage is lower. Your damage is higher in Xism. Your damage is normal in Aism. In Vism, your damage is lower. But what's even more fucked up is that when you're doing this crouch cancel infinite, they can't tech out of it. And if they never drop it, you're sitting there for a minute and a half just watching your character
Marvel.
just get juggled up and down. Oh, it's even worse than Marvel, dude. It's even worse than that. In Marvel, at least they let you down slowly, like it's like, oh, this is going to be like a 35-second combo, Marlin Pie shit, if we're like talking highest level. With fucking Alpha 3, you're just sitting there for like 80 seconds of the round. Ryu just constantly going, duh, 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 just getting juggled the whole fucking time, dude. That's why people fucking hate Vism. Now, granted, this is only going to happen at the highest level of play, and crouch cancel, I think you have to duck for like a frame, which means that you're doing a 1-frame duck into jump, like every time you jump and hit light punch, but it's just so slow, dude. Like it's just so crushing to just watch your character getting their back blown out in the air over and over again. So at the highest level, Alpha 3 can be real fucking cancer. If everybody reads the room, I mean, there's literally an A-ism only ROM hack for Alpha 3 on Fightcade for a reason. If you just want to play A-ism, Alpha 3 is incredible if it's just that. And if people aren't doing crouch cancel infinites and Vism, the combos are A, extremely fucking fun, and B, very rewarding. I loved learning the fucking Vism combos in Alpha 3. I can do them with Akuma, Sagat, Ryu, and Cody, kinda. Anyway, Alpha 3 is a really feature-rich game. It's really good. Alpha 2 is just slightly better in my opinion, but some people might disagree with me. So that's what I have to say about that.
Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challengers.
Violent Ken.
I haven't heard a single good goddamn thing about this game.
Yeah, it's
I've
I think
heard-
it's only on Switch too.
I've heard it's an imbalanced mess. I heard it has technical problems. I heard the online is fucking what online? I have heard literally not a single good thing about this game.
Yeah, it's
Like, it might actually just be down here. It's the worst version of Street Fighter 2, from what I've heard.
it's shit. It's true Kusoge of the highest caliber. It's fucked up.
Yeah,
Um,
I really do not have much else to say. It just literally everyone from the newest noob to the daddest dad gamer who just wants to relive it to the toppest pro is all in agreement. This game fucking sucks.
yeah, it's really bad. It was a meme. The only thing I remember of it was Jeff the Hero going online with Violent Ken and just trolling people because he was so cheap. Violent Ken has a command dash that moves really fast.
Yeah,
In a game where nobody can dash,
yeah.
this is a fucking stupid idea. And you can pick them online. You can pick Evil Ryu and Violent Ken online, and it's just fucking cancer. It's bad shit, dude. Okay, what else do we have here? We have Street Fighter 2010. That goes in the very bottom because it's like it's an NES
Yeah, I
platformer.
don't even know why this is on here. How did these games make it in, but not Puzzle Fighter, bro?
Yeah, it's really strange. I think it's literally because it has to have Street Fighter in the title. Because I see the X-Men versus Street Fighter here and Marvel
No,
versus
this
Street
I
Fighter
can't
in
put
here.
this in, even though it is just Super Turbo. It
Oh,
doesn't feel like Street Fighter.
you putting it in B is fine. I think that's
Like
actually quite a good place.
it's Super Turbo mechanics, but with none of the gorgeous sprite work, none of the
Put it
amazing music.
put it in C. Put it top of C after Second Impact.
All
I
right.
think Second Impact is still a better game than that. Just because for the sheer fact that it's original. Let's see. We have okay. I can actually talk about X-Men versus Street Fighter. I actually prefer that game to Marvel versus Street Fighter, and the Infinites are really fun to do. They're actually pretty easy too. If you want to learn a quick Infinite, guys, just go play Cyclops. Learn the Infinite. It's pretty fun. I would say put it in front of maybe top of B.
Yeah, that's pretty fair from
It,
what little
it's
experience I have.
it's hard to say where it is exactly. Like, I don't have a huge history with it. I just like playing it on Fightcade and doing infinites and stuff. Like, I mean, I'll say that I like how sassy Cyclops is in these games. How he like puts his hands on his hips when he fucking shoots a fucking optic blast at you. Hey, that's pretty cool. But yeah,
Yeah, I
X-Men
just
versus Street Fighter is awesome. Oh, and that's the one that has Cyber
I
Akuma. Actually,
remember.
put it at the bottom of A because it has Cyber
No,
Akuma in it.
no, fuck off,
Oh, it's so cool.
dude. Cyber Akuma is better as a costume.
Yeah, no, he was pretty fucked up. I liked him in Mugen.
All right,
Marvel versus Street Fighter. I would say bottom of B.
where
Bottom of
even
B.
is Marvel versus Street Fighter?
That's next to EX to the left, in between Super Street Fighter
These?
2. Then, no.
Sorry,
To the left.
some of these box arts are. Oh, this no, this is Street
No,
Fighter.
to the left of
You
that.
mean this? Oh,
That one, yeah, that one. I would just probably put that
chuck it
bottom
in-
of B.
Yeah, chuck it.
Yeah,
in
a lot of
this.
people prefer X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Street Fighter.
Yeah, I do actually know that. I've seen way more clips of this than I have of this.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about Marvel versus Street Fighter that people didn't like as much. I think it was just people were getting Street Fightered out.
Such a weird cross up too.
Yeah, that was. I think it was honestly just like, I mean, they were getting tons of money off of asset flipping, so like, why not just do it again? Put the Marvel superheroes characters from Marvel Superheroes, the game, and X-Men, Children of the Atom, versus the Street Fighter guys, and that's more money. We can call it a new game.
The World
Um,
Warrior.
Oh shit, you want to rank these?
I mean, fuck it. At this point, might as well.
It's
I think-
weird.
I think the World
'cause-
Warrior is just worse than Super Turbo.
Yeah, I mean it's the first one.
Yeah, yeah,
Wait. Oh, that's hyper fighting over there. Okay.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think Hyper Fighting is better than World Warrior.
Definitely. And Champion Edition. I mean,
This
it's a
game
little
has
better than
this-
World Warrior.
Yeah,
It's a little better than that. I mean, like I would say, just put it before Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of on par with Hyper Fighting. I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's
I-
hard
I
to fuck.
think-
It's hard to fucking say because they're so goddamn similar.
Yeah, I
Hyper
think.
Fighting is just basically this without the boss characters,
Uh,
if I recall correctly. Sorry, there's 15 fucking versions of this game.
Champion Edition added the 4 bosses.
Yeah, that's what it means. So this is.
And it
I
also
can't
gave
remember
us
if Hyper Fighting came out before or after this. I think it
that
came
comes
out-
after Champion.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, there's 15 goddamn versions of this game that make the most minor tweaks.
Yeah, it's truly one of the games. of all
Truly the
time.
most overmilked game of all time.
Oh yeah,
There's
dude.
more
I mean,
versions of this game than Resident Evil 4 and Skyrim combined.
yeah, yeah, dude. And they're still going. I mean, for all we know, they might make another version of Street Fighter 2 next year.
Yeah, bro. I mean, they literally just remade it again.
When did that come out? Was that 2019? That was 2019, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, like
That's
they're
fucking
still
recent.
fucking remaking this game. And
It's
it
just
just
the
it just
gift
gets worse every single time they remake it.
Did you know that there is still no cycle perfect port of the arcade version of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Really?
Did you know
That's
that?
pretty fucked
All
up.
of them, every single one of them, there is something weirdly different about it. New Challengers is worse than Hyper Fighting.
Really?
Yep.
I kind of like new challengers though.
Uh, I I don't see a lot of people prefer Hyper Fighting. I'll say even on Fightcade, like you can see.
Yeah.
Like
Hyper fighting, and super. Honestly, I feel like I should just have these two next to each other.
yeah, like they're just they're just kind of
They
their own
just kind of
thing.
coexist. They're like different flavors of the same thing.
Yeah, like some purists really like hyper fighting, and if you like the crazy shit, and the breakneck speed, Super Turbo. You know, like
It's got
it just
turbo in the name, bro.
it's got fucking turbo, dude. It's at Turbo 4 or some shit.
Yeah, seriously, it's
Shin
like, dude,
Turbo.
it's like the fastest fucking speed you can get. Watching characters do their idle stances in Super Turbo is ridiculous compared to the original game.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy and fucking dude, that game's on crack.
Yeah, seriously,
That game
that's
looks
why I
like
like it.
it looks and plays like it's on crack, and that's hey,
I
that's why you
like
sign up,
I like
you
how
know?
their idea of improving Street Fighter 2, by the way, they just turned the game speed up one like with every iteration.
Every single one, yeah.
It's like
And
just one faster than before.
Champion Edition, the crazy thing about that is that I think that was the first one to allow mirror matches. Like mirror matches weren't even in the original Street Fighter 2. And then Hyper Fighting, I think, was that where they added the colors? I think it might have been. I'm not sure, but yeah, let's see. So we got EX now. I'm gonna say
I only played
this.
a little bit about the EX games. I know EX3 is pretty good.
So EX plus Alpha is cool because Akuma's in it, and Evil Ryu and shit. But I feel like the only ones really worth talking about are EX2 Plus and EX3. EX2 Plus is a very good game. That is a very good game. Arika is really good at making fighting games. They're really underrated. I mean, dude, Arika is literally like one of the original
I'm
Street
putting
Fighter.
these here and I don't fucking care anymore. There's too many versions of this game.
Yeah, no, it's
I
okay.
literally can't keep track of all the differences, and I'm usually pretty meticulous about that stuff.
Yeah, I mean the anniversary, that's a weird arranged version of Street Fighter 2 where you can edition select.
Yeah.
And it has the arranged soundtrack, which is nice. I love the arranged soundtrack. It's amazing. It's from the 3DO version. But it's also still not cycle perfect. And the only way to play Super Turbo Cycle Perfect is either to have an original board or to play it on Mister, like the Mister FPGA. That's it. That's the only way to do it. And then I guess emulate it, but that's like kind of sketchy. I mean, it's fine, right?
Thank
It's
God Fightcade standardized all this shit and
yeah,
just gave us
goddamn.
one standard for all these fucking games.
And it's really good because like it runs at the correct frame rate for
Dude,
every game.
fucking shout outs to Fightcade carrying the
Yeah.
old fighting games on its back. Like, Jesus Christ.
Can't wait for Fightcade 3. Please bring Chaos Breaker, aka Dark Awake. The King Has No Name to Fightcade. That game's so fucking cool. Anyway, EX2 Plus. EX2 Plus is the more popular one. I think that's a good place to put it. Actually, yeah. Actually, I kind of want to put it around like there. Yeah, I think that's
trust me, I got you. I know these games are actually pretty good.
yeah. That is a good game. And EX3.
This is another
Honestly,
good
I'm
one.
gonna put it right next to it.
Yeah.
EX3. I'm going to talk about these two games in the context of EX3. I played EX3 before I played
Actually,
EX2
hold
Plus.
on. I can't put these as high as the more modern games for the simple fact that they never got a chance to shine.
Especially EX3. That
These
one,
games never got a fair chance, whereas these games did.
yeah, that's a very sad story with EX3, because it's the reason that that game failed financially and critically was because of when it came out, and what you got, like when you bought it, right? EX2 Plus was a game that was in arcades.
Yeah, I do
Okay,
know
so
this.
it
It
actually
had
had an arcade
refinement
scene.
time, yeah.
Yeah, people actually figured it out and learned how to play it. The problem with EX3 was that it was a
It's like
PlayStation
straight to
2 launch
console.
title.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, straight to console, no arcade scene, which means that like no old footage of it exists. Nobody was talking about tech. Nobody cared to compete in it unless it was like some like little hodunk tournament at some random place. EX3 truly got shafted from the jump, but it's a pretty good game.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird game, sure. It looks kind of weird,
It
like
looks
seeing the characters,
super weird, dude.
but it's kind of grown on me. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you see that opening cutscene with
I'll
Ryu and
put it this
Ken.
way: everyone I know who decided to give these games a fair shot tells me they're fucking super good. They're super solid games.
Dude, and this is the thing, right? It's not like you can just play EX2 over EX3. They're different games. EX3 is a tag fighter.
Yeah.
EX2 Plus is just more on the traditional side of Street Fighter. You know,
I like watching
and you
people
can
do
do some,
combos in these games.
dude, you can do bonkers shit in EX3,
I
by the
like the
way.
meteor that blows up the planet when you do the super.
Dude, I like killing somebody with a super and then the fucking Buddha shows up and like yells
Yeah.
at you.
People will think you're making that up, but you're really not.
Nah, dude, hit somebody with a fucking with a super in that game and the fucking the god
Fucking
Shiva will
dude,
show up and just be like, dude, that
Antichrist.
was sick.
Yeah, the fucking
Yeah.
the Antichrist rises from the ground and is like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's fucking cool,
Knows
dude.
how to
Like,
get you hype. I'll say that.
and the soundtracks, dude. Oh my fucking god. The soundtracks for EX2. If this were a soundtrack tier list, you would put EX2 and 3 at the top. It would be where Street Fighter 6 is. The best soundtracks. I'm not even fucking around. Like, ridiculous. The in-house band at Eureka, it was a fucking band, dude. Those
That's
guys
how that's how
shred.
Final Fantasy does their soundtrack. That's why it's so good.
Yeah, yeah, right? Like they they made soundtracks for their games like they gave a fuck, dude. They had fucking Kenny G in there fucking doing
Kelpie G.
Kelpie G and Kelpie G in there, dude, doing fucking polyrhythms and shit. Like it's crazy. Like those games are really, really good. Um, I mean, unfortunately, they don't have as much of a legacy. But some people rep EX2 Plus. I mean, like I think Guile Win quote, right? He was saying like, yeah, that's his favorite Street
Mm-hmm.
Fighter. Is
Yeah,
EX2
he
Plus.
recently made a video on this.
And the original characters that they got from like Fighting Layer and shit, those guys are sick, dude. Doctrine Dark, where he's like explosive, like that guy's sick. Explosive.
Explosive. Yeah.
He's basically Shin Leon S. Kennedy. He's got the same haircut and the
Yeah.
RPD shit, but he's got a mask on, so he's like Shin
Yeah, and he
Leon
fucking
S. Kennedy.
stabs people to death.
And he stabs people and like laughs and shit. Has fiber wire that explodes. Like
He's
he's
basically,
sick.
dude, he's basically a cyberpunk NPC.
Yeah, basically shit. Yeah, actually, not gonna lie. You know, Garuda has spikes coming out of him, and he's really pissed off. That guy's sick. Cracker Jack. Fucking. Oh yeah, dude. Don't forget about Volcano Rosso, dude.
Oh.
Volcano Rosso. He has a fucking super where he steps on your face. Fucking badass, dude. Like that game's sick. It's really dope. And EX3 is like EX2 Plus on crack because it's a tag
Nobody
game.
shuts the fuck up about Skullomania.
Yeah, he's not even that good, man.
Yeah,
It's not
but
even
I
that
don't
good.
know what it is with him, but people have wanted him in a mainline Street Fighter game forever.
That pisses me off, actually. He's actually kind of a meme, like Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Like people who want Skullomania don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I like
And
him as a
like,
costume for Dan.
yeah. There's Ono trolling everybody again. It's like such an Ono decision.
Yeah,
Man, look at the art for fucking EX, dude. Like,
I really like this artwork.
that one's fucking badass. And also, at the bottom, dude, is that EX? That's just regular EX2. That looks sick. Look at that with Ryu on the front, not the CG render, but the middle one. Like that shit looks badass, dude.
Yeah, I don't even know anything about these three games. I literally couldn't tell you anything.
I think so. The artist who did the artwork for EX and EX2 is a guy named Bengus. Bengus did like a lot of shit. He
Bingus?
mainly did the
The cat?
yeah. He did Rival School. He did the art for that game.
Nice.
So that again, that's why the fucking art is goated. That's why it's amazing. But this is the tier list, guys. You know,
I don't know anything about these 3 games, so I wouldn't know where to place them. I
uh,
wouldn't know
th-
anything to say.
they're basically just different versions. I mean, EX1, there's not much to talk about, and one of them is an update to EX1, and the other one's just vanilla EX2. So you might as well just play EX2 plus. And EX3 is very much its own thing, just kind of doing something different.
This
Um,
looks pretty good to me.
yeah, I like it. I know like you have like some personal gripes with Third Strike, and I think that's fair. I think it's okay for people to be
Dude,
critical
I
about
think
it.
if
Like,
Third Strike got a balance pass that made it so Chun and Yun weren't the only like competitively viable characters, it would be up here.
yeah,
That's literally my biggest problem with Third Strike is that it
yeah,
is so fucking miserable to try and play it. And trying to get people to play it is a miserable fucking experience too.
I
Trying to get a
remember.
friend into Third Strike is not going
Yeah,
to happen. It's just
yeah,
not going to happen.
they're not gonna do it. Like it's just too
Dude,
daunting.
even if you're a hardcore fighting game player, even for you it's going to be hard to get into. This is like bro,
Dude, literally everybody
this
has
is
said
like
that too. Like,
this is like the hardcore pornography of fucking of this is
that's a good
no,
way to
I
put
was
it.
just about to say this is literally like the hardcore porn of fighting games in that everyone tells you, yeah man, I like it, I'm freaky like that, you know, this shit is so good. But then the moment they
I love that.
actually try it, they're like, oh my god. I'll never forget, there was this one video. I can't believe I'm breaking this up with a Street Fighter thing, but there is this one video. This chick, she turned 18 and wanted to spite her dad, so she went onto this like niche ultra hardcore like porn place and did a video with them. And it was fucking weird, dude. This got, the only reason I know about this is because it was famous. It was reported on the news. She was
Oh,
she was like
Jesus.
some billionaire's kid, and she wanted to piss off her dad. And they had her do shit like vomit on the guy's dick, and then like
Yeah, that's like
yeah, and like actually like
it
crazy
fooked tier
hardcore.
shit. It
Yeah,
fooked
it's
tier.
like hardcore. You know, because I remember when I was younger, I used to say that shit to seem cool. Like, yeah, I love hardcore porn. And then I
Oh
actually,
yeah,
then,
we're
I,
edgy.
then I actually saw one. And this dude is like punching this girl and like giving her a black eye as he like tells her to like vomit on his dick. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm actually not about this life.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, if you want to spite your dad, you'll come down to the arcade, you'll play Third Strike, and you'll come out of it.
That's not what I mean. No, what I mean is the comparison that I listen, dude. It's 7 in the morning. Okay, listen, but so listen, man, you're telling me a shrimp fried this rice. Anyway, so basically, everyone says they like Third Strike until they play it and they realize they don't actually like Third Strike.
Yeah, Third Strike is. I
It's
have
an
a very
acquired
good
taste.
comparison. Fans of Third Strike are like fans of Tool,
Yeah.
right? Like Tool fans are a meme because they glaze the fuck out of Tool unapologetically. And they it's almost like propaganda. Like they need to get the word out there and let you know, hey, play Third Strike. It's a good game. But they don't say it like that. They don't say it like that. That's the problem.
I
Like,
can't deny that Third Strike is a good game. There's just
of
this,
course,
there
yeah.
is just this overgrown tumor sitting on top of it, sucking away from everything else.
So I have a theory as to that.
Okay.
So Third Strike started to get this fucking pedigree in like the late
Yes,
2000s, like
yes.
around when Street Fighter 4 came out,
As like
where
the
even
real, yeah.
people who even had a passing interest in fighting games were starting to like mime, hey, Third Strike, greatest fighting game of all time, and it's
Yeah,
the best Street
I
Fighter
wasn't,
that you
I was,
never played.
dude.
You know, like
I wasn't gonna bring this up, but since you,
screw
since,
attack.
yeah, since you brought this up, there is this really god awful, annoying opinion in the fighting game community from fucking 09ers that have never touched Third Strike that it is secretly the greatest fighting game ever, and you
Yeah.
people are fucking delusional. And that is, you people are the sole reason this game's not getting an S tier. Fuck you people. All right.
I that's totally fair, actually, and I think you're right for doing that.
Because
Because like dude, like,
People need a reality check with this goddamn game. Like,
dude, people, like, I'm telling you, like, Screw Attack on game trailers when they did like top tens and shit, like top 10 fighting games of all time. Stuttering Craig is on there giving Third Strike #1, and I'm like, bro, have you gotten nuked by Makoto before?
what is
Dude, I
your
don't
rank
think
on Fightcade, my
I don't.
brother in Christ? You know, it's
Yeah,
like have you tried getting past like a C rank? Like
yeah,
it's
like
genuinely difficult if you don't play Chun or Yun.
yeah, you have to go through the bad to
To
really
appreciate the good,
understand,
yeah.
to appreciate the good and really understand if you like the game, right? Like, because if you're not willing to put up with that shit, I mean, there have been
If
days,
you
dude,
aren't
where I
willing to
would,
fight 30 Chun-Lis in a row, playing the game the exact same way, doing the exact same 2 moves over and over again, fishing for 50% of your life in one hit, then like, I don't know what to tell you, man. You're not a real third strike player, you know?
yeah, like I've been there, you know, like there have been some days where I would play Third Strike, and like again, I love Third Strike, but like I would play it some days and I'd be like, man, this game is so fucking stupid. What the fuck is that? Like, I just can't hold it in anymore. I mean, dude, I remember getting Kara grabbed by Chun Li in the arcade and going, how come her Kara grab is so long and mine is so short? That doesn't make any fucking sense. How come she gets everything? You know?
Yeah.
It and plus, you know, I'm just gonna keep spouting the propaganda. Chun is better than Yun, dude. Fight me. I live in the San Fernando Valley. Come fight me, dude. Come fucking
Dude,
fight
that's
me.
the
All
most
right, I'll
fighting.
beat your
That's
ass.
the most fighting game player thing I have ever heard in my life.
Dude, don't fuck it. Dude, I'm telling you, like,
People care a lot about that topic, Yun versus Chun.
oh,
Dude,
dude,
people
it's
get fucking heated over that.
blood has been spilled.
I
And
yeah,
I'm
you're
telling you,
you're
if you want to come down here and tell me that Yun is better than Chun,
bro. Come meet me at Wednesday night fights. We'll settle this
come
shit
meet
in
me
the
at
park.
Wednesday.
We'll settle
We'll
this in the parking lot.
we'll sell this shit in the parking lot. Nobody fucks with Dudley, okay?
Oh my god! I can't believe nobody fucks with Dudley,
Nobody
dude.
fucks with
I
Dudley. Dude, I'll
can't
take my
believe
shirt
I
off.
can't believe you're bringing this shit up. Nobody fucks with Dudley.
That's the real shit, dude. I'll be like, nobody fucks with Dudley. I'll take my shirt off and I will spill more blood
Oh my
to be on
god,
the
dude.
side of, hey, Chun is better than Yun because she's pretty much always good. And Yun is only good when he builds enough Wiener to get Ganesian. Which frankly doesn't take that long, but still, Chun Li, I mean, come on, dude. Like, imagine, dude, it's like this.
Yeah, let me put this
Yun,
into perspective real quick. This is a game where characters have like double the super meter length of. Okay, Yun's Gurdenchkin is like arguably the best super in the game, and
yeah,
you build that super faster than like fucking Ryu's like Hadoken super, despite the fact that that only does like 20% damage.
yeah.
Like
It's
the balance in this game is so wildly bad that like you have characters like Remy where the best punish they're gonna get is like 30% of your life, and then you
oh,
have
dude, he's in the wrong game.
and then you have characters like Yun whose best punish is like 90% of your life plus a 5-way mix up, and it's like okay, best game of all time, really, you know?
This is the other thing, by the way, about that. More argument as to why Chun is better. With Yun, you have to learn a very complex, pretty tight juggle in
Yeah.
order to actually like come out meter positive and in a good situation where you can immediately do Ganesian again. It does take work. Like, you're basically, it's like spinning plates. Like, you're trying to keep them on the sticks, right? Chun, I mean, hey, once she gets her meter, dude, she doesn't have to do shit.
This
She just
dumbass,
hits you with a low
this
forward.
dumbass bitch does crouching medium kick into buffered super 2 and the fucking game's over.
I'll say Yun is a harder working top tier. Chun is, she's just chilling. She's got her feet up.
Chun is stupid.
She's
I don't like Chun. I don't like playing
she's
this
so dumb, dude. And it truly, like, again, if you want to figure out if you like this game, play against a couple of really good Chuns. And
game. If you want to find out if Third Strike is for you, download Fightcade, turn it on, go into the room, and then go send a challenge request to 3 different B rank players. And if after that experience you decide I still like this game, then you're a Third Strike player. If after that experience you say, holy fuck, that was miserable, I don't ever want to play this again, then you're like 95% of the rest of the FGC.
and that's okay. Hey, that's all right. You know, like
Yeah.
it's totally fine. Like, I actually completely understand, and I think you're justified in that decision, right? Because like Third Strike is great. I think it is. It's obviously like a great game. It's very, very good. It's a well-made game. It's a shittily balanced game, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Um,
I like getting
but
meter from
like,
supers
yeah,
or from
yeah,
buttons. I mean, I
yeah. I
like
like that, and I
I
like
like
that Ryu's got sauce. I like Denjin. Like Denjin is fucking hilarious. Like
I
the
like
fact
how
that Ryu,
Denjin got turned into a charge move in 6.
yeah, I like the Denjin install in 6. I play Ryu in 6, and it's you know
Can I
he
be honest with you? My most played character in 6 is Ryu as well.
hey dude, if you want to get good at a Street Fighter game,
Yeah,
play
yeah.
play Ryu. You play
I've
Ryu because he has no bullshit. Like you gotta fucking just you gotta work for it, and if your fundamentals are good, then you will play good, you know? Like yeah, yeah, like I love Ryu, man. I love Ryu from Streets, dude. That's my
yeah.
boy right there. Like he's a shit. But yeah, guys, that's the tier list, man.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say. I think
I
it
think
looks pretty good.
yeah, shit, yeah.
I think at most you could change a few things around, but
Yeah, I think the stuff that has to be up there, the stuff that's really important to be up there, at least in the top three bracket, right? Of like just great to toppest of top. I think all that stuff is up there, which is good.
yeah, I've wanted to say that Street Fighter 5 is not as bad as a lot of people. There are some people who talk about this game like it's the fucking Antichrist, like it's the worst goddamn thing ever. And like, man,
Yeah,
I just don't see it
that
that way. I
it's
really came
just
around to this game as time went on.
yeah. I when that game came out, my buddy Leonard, that was his first Street Fighter. He got into Street Fighter playing 5, right? And because he didn't really like 4 that much, and he didn't like Third Strike, but he was like ready to go all in on 5, and my buddy Leonard got pretty good at Street Fighter 5. I mean, like he got to like Super Diamond and shit. So he's a very competent player. And I used to give him so much shit for playing that game when it was bad.
That's how a lot of people are.
Like, I mean, that's just the way it was too. Like, I mean, like, I was justified in it before Arcade Edition came out. When Arcade Edition came out, I was like, all right, Leonard, your game's good now. Okay, it's
Yeah.
good. You're in good hands. All right. Like, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun from this moment on. It's also a stinky Ibuki player. So
Ah.
he switched to Karen, but
Ah.
yeah, she's fucked. She's fucked too. Now there's a character that gets money for nothing.
Yeah,
She doesn't
Karen.
have to work that
She's
hard.
fucking the modern day Third Strike Chun.
Yeah, she doesn't have to work that hard to get her wins. Like she plays 5 very well.
Oh yeah.
And here I am over here playing fuck, who did I end up playing towards the end of 5? I always run really
I
long sets with Leonard.
I play. Drum roll, please. My most played character in 5. You'll never guess it.
Bison,
Nope.
Urien,
Nope.
Sakura.
Nope.
Is it a character that you played from the start to the end?
Yeah, roughly.
Roughly?
Not the start, but around the start.
So like maybe beginning of season 2?
Yeah, I would say that.
DLC character?
Oh yeah.
Season 1 DLC character?
Now you're getting too specific.
Akuma?
I did play a lot of Akuma, but no, I actually looked at my playtime when I was showing the game to Mock. Nope.
Hmm.
Nope,
not-
based off my number of matches.
It's not Akuma. It's not. Is it Balrog?
Nope. I only played like 30 games as Balrog in 5.
Uh,
I told you, you'd never guess it's the last character you'd think.
Fung?
I did play a lot of Fang, but no, he's not DLC.
I think Aki's way cooler than him, but
It is Guile.
yes,
Guile in 5 was a fucking rushdown character, dude.
Dude, he was good.
Yeah, listen, hey man, if anybody ever doubts my because I mentioned this in the Street Fighter 6 character tier list. I am not one to downplay my character. In Street Fighter 4, I played Akuma. I played Evil Ryu. In Street Fighter 5, I played Akuma, Urien, Guile.
Yeah,
Literally
all
the
top
top three. And in Street Fighter 6, I'm going from Ryu to Rashid. And like, I don't ever get the idea twisted. I want to win. All right. In Third Strike, I played Akuma and Chun-Li. All right. I want to win this fucking match.
Akuma for fun.
Yeah.
Chun-Li in the streets, Akuma in the sheets,
even my for fun character in Third Strike was like around most people's top 5. Like everybody says Akuma's really like,
he's like he's 6 or 7, I think, in the game. Like it's a toss up between him and Urien.
He's just barely not there.
Yeah.
And it's like even my for fun characters are usually within the top 5.
My main in Third Strike is Dudley. That motherfucker's so cool.
Nobody messes with Dudley. Holy shit.
Nobody fucks with Dudley, dude.
Okay, I think I have to stop the recording here. I just looked at the time. Would you like to take a guess how long this video is?
4.5 hours?
No, it's 3 hours.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love it. This is going to be your longest video yet.
Yeah, this might actually just be my longest video ever. And that ensures absolutely no one is going to watch it.
That's okay. It's cool, though.
Yeah, all right. I am stopping the recording now.